Eagle Beakster, I see you there, buddy. How's it going, my man? You ready for a great show? Just doing a few last minute things here. It's gonna be a good one. DC, you know it. The dance is real. Hitch in the house. Right on, Hitch. No worries. It's great that you stopped in, man. I appreciate it. Maybe we'll give you a little raid later. We'll see what's going on. We're gonna have a great show today. We got Erik Hogan on as a guest. He is a game designer, and we're gonna meet Erik and talk to him and play a couple of his new productions. All right, I'm so excited. Erik's actually awake. It's amazing, and it's amazing. He's actually calling us from the future. Saxion, the Bill dance every Tuesday is a treat. Right on. Long day, Eagle Beakster. All right, cool. It's been crazy for me too, so I'm psyched to do a stream. Let's get this party started. Let's start off with a little How Job and Ghost Town. Nothing gets me fired up like the Beam Riders. Oh yeah, here we go. Ghost Town, How Job. That's how we do. Retro Comp 2017, second place winner. Saxion, this is a scene demo from Ghost Town and How Job. Dropped at Retro Comp 2017, Gdansk, Poland. It gets me fired up, man. I just love it. Oh, what's that? We interrupt this broadcast. A message from Pixel Glass Games. A brand new Amiga game drop-in for CD32. Oh, baby. LR City in the house. We're gonna play it today, and we got the designer with us. This is gonna be awesome. We're gonna tell you where to pre-order it. We're gonna tell you all about the game. It's gonna be a great day, guys. All right, guys, what's up? Sorry, I cut off the end of the video there a little bit. I'm getting used. I just did a whole new setup in here. My streaming setup has been upgraded. So I've rerouted all my audio through this mixer, and it was crazy getting ready for the stream. But I think it's been nothing but improvements today. So if everything goes, hopefully everything goes smooth. You know, lots of upgrades here in the AmigaBill studio. But I want to say welcome everyone. Saxy, and to answer your question, I was just playing that. That was just a video I was playing off my PC of the demo, but it requires an 060. So it will run on like a Power PC or 060, and it is really cool. And yes, LR City is getting a physical release. We're gonna learn all about it today. We're lucky enough to have Mr. Erik Hogan, aka Erik. He's gonna be joining us in a minute. So yeah, and we're gonna play the game. We're gonna play the demo. They just released version 1.0 of the demo of LR City, so we're gonna play some LR City demo. Eric's gonna tell us all about it. We're also gonna play some Project X Special Edition 2017, which is another project that Eric's been working on. He'll tell us all about it. We're gonna play them all on my real Amiga 1200. So it's gonna be an awesome day. Just want to, like, a few of the upgrades I just want to tell you guys about real quick. We now have commands. We have commands in the chat. So commands are really cool. You do exclamation mark and then a word, which is the command, and you get a response. So for example, let's say someone says, "Hey, when's the next Westchester Amiga user group meeting?" I go exclamation mark WOG. Boom. Boom, the next Westchester Amiga user group meeting will be, and then it gives you the link, and it tells you all about the next WOG meeting. Oh yeah, that's awesome. Toa Folkman knows about the commands. What's up, buddy? We love the commands, right? So if you want to know about LR City, we go exclamation mark ALARCITY. Oh, I didn't enter that command. I did a lot of prep for the show, guys, but the stream I don't even call a show. But I guess that didn't work. Yeah, you figured it out, Toa Folkman. Exclamation mark Amiga, and it just screams Amiga back at you. Oh, that is just. I hope you guys enjoy it. That's pretty awesome. I was gonna start the stream out a little bit different. I was gonna play another demo off my 1200, but believe it or not, Erik is with us early. If I know it sounds crazy, but Erik is actually in New Zealand, so he is a man from the future. He is calling us from the future. He's joining us from the future. It's like 7:40 a.m. there, so he's not going to be joining us on video because, you know, I don't want to do that to the guy. He's just going to join us on an audio chat. We're going to be using the friend chat, which you guys may or may not know, like some huge Amiga fans are starting this big initiative called Friend Up. David Pleasance is the marketing director for it. My friend Adam Spring, YouTuber Dan Wood, they're all involved in this, so we're gonna be doing that. Oh, DC, I didn't do a command for Atari. That's hilarious. For example, if you want to know what my YouTube is, you can go exclamation mark YouTube. Boom. There it is, and there's my YouTube. You want to know like where my streams are archived? Exclamation mark archive. Boom. Right there. So yeah, the commands are cool. I'll be working on this throughout the the next several months, next year. I'm always trying to upgrade, always trying to improve. But anyway, let's get this party started, guys. Now, unfortunately, there's a 5-second delay, so a 5-second timeout. So if you do exclamation mark Amiga, it'll yell Amiga back at you, but then you gotta wait 5 seconds for the next Amiga command. which is unfortunate. It's just the rules of the Nightbot. I don't make them up. I just follow them. But anyway, guys, we are in for a treat today. We have Erik Hogan, also known as Erik, with us. Erik is an amazing guy who I met over on the English Amiga board, and he does all sorts of cool projects on the Amiga. He does a lot of like remakes and ports, and now he's working on his first new game called Alar City. Yo, Will W68K, what's up, dude? Great to see you. I think we should get Erik on the phone, on the friend chat very soon. So Erik, if you can hear me, feel free to unmute your mic and let's get this party started. Will checking in from the Amigos podcast and member of the Westchester Amiga user group. Will, it's a pleasure to see you. We'll be meeting next Thursday, baby. So far so good. Looks like I'll be able to make it. I hear someone there. Is that you, Erik?
Yes, that's me.
Oh, brilliant. Well, welcome, Erik. Thank you so much for coming on the stream. It's really a pleasure and honor to have you.
No worries. Yeah, thanks for inviting me on.
Oh, my pleasure. Guys, does everything sound good over there? Is the mix all right? Maybe I think I'm going to give Erik a little boost in volume. But he sounds pretty good to me. I just gave you a little boost there, Erik. So I think we're in good shape here, Erik. Let me switch my screen over here to my PC. It's because I want to take you through. That's not the PC. I'm going to switch over to the PC, and we can look at some of your work over here. I can go onto the Pixel Glass website. We can show him that. But he's a little quiet. I'll boost him up even a little bit more, Saxion. All right, so Erik, welcome. So how's good morning?
Cheers.
So how are you doing, man? So Erik, I know who you are, but the folks who are watching don't. Would you like to just? We didn't prepare this interview. Erik and I are just flying off the cuff here. This is last minute. I don't have any questions prepared. We're just gonna kind of roll with it today. So Erik, do you want to introduce yourself and just let people know like the type of things you do with the Amiga, because you do some really cool stuff.
Well, so yeah, for a few years now, I've been involved in doing various projects for the Amiga. I started with doing unofficial CD32 releases, which for the most part involved taking something that like a WHD load install, or just a game that could run from a CD, and just packaging that together so that you could just download an ISO and run it on CD32. So from there I started looking into other things like hacks. So we replacing graphics in games, replacing audio in games.
So upgrading previous releases, essentially remastering.
Yeah. Or changing them at least. I don't know if all of them are improvements, but and yeah, so I eventually got into learning Blitz Basic and a bit of assembly, a bit of C, so that I could do entirely new things. So which led to so I started working on a port of Raid Over Moscow to Amiga. I did a complete port of the Sega CD game Time Gal, and now I'm working on the first entirely original commercial project for Amiga, which is Elasticity.
So I'm looking here at the Pixel Glass Games website, yeah, and I can see there's two sections here. There's Pixel Glass and Reimagine Games. Are you involved with both of them?
Yes. So all of basically everything on the site is a collaboration between myself and John Chakaris, who So he does all the art, and yeah, uh, does a lot of the design. Um, so yeah, we met because I started working on the well, I started doing the special edition of Gianna Sisters, and so what I started with was I thought, okay, well, so we take the Amiga version of Giant Sisters, and could we do something with it to look, because it didn't, graphically it didn't look like like it had been upgraded from the Commodore 64. In fact, in some places the graphics were worse on the Amiga version than the Commodore 64 version. So I thought, well, uh, yeah. So what can we do about that? So I had a look at some uh, sprite rips for the Nintendo DS version, and it turns out the resolution wasn't that different. So a lot of the art could be brought across, and then so I started doing that. But then uh, John got in touch and said, I like this project, but I could I could do a better job with the graphics conversion. He actually could. He sent me a photo showing. Well, he sent me a screenshot showing how uh, he had done a better conversion of the art, and so yeah, we went from there. In fact, a lot of the graphics in the game are entirely original, or entirely John's work. You can see some of the things he had to be creative on. Like, you can see that last screenshot, the one with the dragon.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking at it right now.
And yeah, and so in the Nintendo DS version, that sprite is much taller. Like, it's almost like a square shape. It's like a big fat dragon. But with this conversion, because we had to stick with the dimensions of the original game, he managed to squeeze it down like that, and it still looks really good.
That's incredible. That's it. I've played the game. We're gonna play it later. I've got ready to go on my 1200, and it's awesome. I love it. I can't believe what you guys did. So you used assembler to put this all together?
No. So we did make some hacks to the code here and there.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, we just took the existing WHD load install. We ripped all the graphics. So we worked out where the graphics were stored on the disk image, and since they were all uncompressed, we could just I wrote a program that converts PNGs to raw bit planes, so that we could take so that he could provide so that John could do all his work in PNG, and then we could convert that to raw bit planes and put it right into the game.
Amazing.
We did a similar thing with like, we replaced some of the audio. I did a little bit of reverse engineering to work out how the samples are played back. So some of the sounds are from the Nintendo DS version.
But that's amazing. So sorry, go ahead.
Cheers. The other thing we did in regards to reverse engineering was the palette. So the palette of the original Amiga version is quite limited because it's just the Atari ST palette.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Atari ST palette is it's made up of 512 colors. So Jonas Sisters had, I think it was just, oh no, I was using 32 colors, but it was out of those 512 colors.
Mm-hmm.
But with an OCS Amiga, of course, you can access 4096 colors. So yeah, we did some edits there, so we could replace the Atari ST palette with um, our own palettes. And yeah, one of the really cool things John did was he replaced. I think most palettes in the game are unique, so that like even if it's a similar level, like it's during daylight and it's above ground, some of them have slightly different moods.
Oh, right. So a slightly different time of day, sort of.
Yeah, exactly. Um, and of course you can. So that so the new title screen, Giant Sisters SE, that graphic came from DeviantArt. So I was just looking around DeviantArt and I found this really nice image. So, and it converted quite nicely to ham. Although John did a bit of work on it to make the conversion as good as possible. Because I mean, with ham images, sometimes you get you know those artifacts around the edges.
Good old ham fringing.
Yeah, but yeah. So yeah, send a message to the artist, see if she was cool with it, and yep, she was fine. So we used that, and the other thing we did was it's that top middle screenshot where the intro that so we ported the intro from the Nintendo DS version as a because it's like a slideshow anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So we ripped the audio from that. We took screenshots of each of the slides, and so yeah, that's done as a separate executable, so that well, you know, so we didn't have to force that into the game. It just when you run the game, it loads that intro executable, and then it loads the main game with WHD load. The thing about the intro is that it will detect if you're on an AGA machine or an OCS or ECS machine, and so if you're on an ECS machine, it will play back with 64 colors extra half bright mode.
Oh.
But if you're on AGA, it will play back with 256 colors.
Oh, nice. That's awesome, Eric. You know, I'm thinking originally I thought we were just going to talk about LR City, but you know, since you're giving us so much great information about Giant Sisters, I'm feeling like maybe I should fire it up on my Amiga. What do you think?
Yeah,
I think we should
suppose,
just show the folks the intro. You know, then we can play it later. You know, in more detail. But since you're talking about all this great stuff, I kind of want to show everyone.
Yep, sounds good.
I got this new little switch box I hooked up, so hopefully it works all right. Let's see if we see an Amiga image coming up. I got a lot of switches to throw here. I'm switching over my monitor. There, I see an Amiga. Excellent. I see an Amiga. I'm actually gonna just pop the volume down on the game a little bit since I turned you up. Let's see. Okay, and I see here I'm in NTSC mode, so I assume this game is for PAL, right?
The game itself actually works fine on NTSC, but the intro has some problems. I was actually working on an update for it, but I never got around to publishing it. But yeah, so I was doing an NTSC version of the intro, which was the same as the PAL version, except you know, the speed is adjusted and it's cropped a little bit at the top and the bottom, so that you can still see the main part of the image.
Okay, well, I'll just fire it up in PAL because I know it worked. So we'll stick to PAL for now, even though I am an NTSC guy here in the States. All right, let's fire up Giant Sisters. I hope the audio will be all right. Okay, so I see it's loading the Giant Sisters Special Edition intro, AGA mode. That's like you just mentioned before. It's a separate executable from the game.
Yep. I hope the intro works. 'Cause I wrote this a while ago, and since I was only just starting to learn things like Blitz Basic, oh yep, it's working just
It works
fine.
like a charm. Yep.
Yeah, it is really hungry on chip RAM.
I got 2 megs of
so-
chip. We're good.
Oh yep, excellent. But yeah, so I've done an update that doesn't use as much chip RAM and the load's much faster, but that's not quite ready for release yet.
Cool. But now I see it kicked back to Workbench, and now it loaded the actual game.
Yep.
But it's
So,
pretty seamless. I didn't even really understand that until you just told it to us. so great job on that.
Oh, cheers.
All right. And is this the graphic you were speaking about that you found on DeviantArt?
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I wanted something really nice for the new the new title screen, and so that of the ones I looked at, that was my favorite image. And yeah, as I was saying, Zach worked on it, so converting it down to that resolution and into ham, as well as like he's added so say his Giant Sisters SE there, which obviously wasn't on the original image.
Sure. It's awesome. It's an awesome image. So is this is a ham image then?
Yes, yeah, but he's cleaned it up really nicely. Like sometimes on ham images you can get sort of like green artifacts sort of around the rough edges. But that he's done a really good job of. I think he basically went over it pixel by pixel to make sure he could get rid of as many of the artifacts as he could.
Oh yeah, no, it looks amazing. 'Cause I deal with ham a lot because I do photos with the Amiga and photography, so I know exactly. I can't imagine him going through every pixel, but that's pretty amazing. It looks gorgeous. It's a beautiful image. And I just want to say, what's up, everyone in chat? Thank you for joining us today. Sorry if I'm not as interactive with you at the moment, but I've got Erik, Mr. Erik Hogan, on the line with us using friend chat, and Erik is an amazing game designer, and he's going to be joining us for a while today. Right now we're checking out one of his releases called Giant Sisters Special Edition, and it's awesome. It looks gorgeous. Alright, let's start it up. Press joystick left for 1 player, right for 2 player. This is the 2016 Special Edition by Task and Erik. Original Amiga version is from 1988, Time Warp. By Time Warp. The splash screen is by I can't quite read it.
So that Liz Van Peace.
Oh, Liz Van
so
Peace.
She's the, actually, I'll put a link in the comments. Van Peace, Giant Sisters. So she oh well, she's done some new fan art of Genesis. But anyway, so what I've just linked in the comments is the that's the original image that they converted in ham, so you can see
I'm gonna click on it myself.
Yep.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah,
So that's the original. So
yeah,
that's not a ham image though, is it? That the original's not a ham
No,
image.
that's the original. So you can see in the comments that I've asked for permission to be able to use it.
It looks awesome.
But yeah, I see she's actually. I'll post this in the comments as well. She's actually done another Giant Sisters graphic.
Oh, excellent. You know what we'll do? I could always look at these later also on the screen, because right now what we're seeing is the opening to Giant Sisters game.
Oh, yeah. You see, so with this we've got EC in the scrolling scrolling title screen. It took us a little bit of time to work out. So that the scrolling title screen is like it's stored in the data as a level.
Mm-hmm.
So it took us a little bit of time to work out the format for the levels so that we could make this change to add SE on the end there. The reason we were able to fit those extra words into this is because the original game, Gianna is actually spelled with 2 N's on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
So we took that N out, and that was able to give us a little bit more space so we could put SE right at the end there.
Got you. That's awesome. So it's basically the same as the original, but you added the SE for special edition and took out one of the N's.
Yeah, and I think we made a couple of other tweaks here to make it fit with our tile set.
Oh, excellent.
But the levels for the main game are mostly the same as they were, except there were a couple of there are a couple of things we changed a little bit to fit with Zach's new tile set. But also there were a couple of bits that were there are a couple of bugs in the original levels, like from memory there was a tile that was invisible, and you could if you ran into, like, if you were jumping, you hit that tile, then you could fall to your death.
Mm-hmm.
So just things like that we tidied up a little bit. The structure of the levels is not very tidy. It's just like they've stored the graphical layout for the levels in one part and the logical layout in another part. So when I started playing around, I thought I thought I'd deleted some platforms, but they were still there graphically, even though I couldn't jump on them.
I think it's amazing how you did. I would have never imagined how you reverse engineer a game. Did you contact the folks who originally made the game? Because I think they would flip out. I think they would love this.
Well, I actually did. So the original programmer for the Commodore 64 is actually he's actually deceased now, unfortunately.
Oh.
I'm not sure for the Amiga version. I'm not. Oh, I mean, other than because Chris Hulsbeck did the original, the Commodore 64 music.
Mm-hmm.
I know he's still very active in the retro scene, but yeah. So I didn't really get in touch with any of the original developers. I wasn't sure, who was active or who might be interested. I did get in touch with Black Forest Games, who are they're not only the rights holders, but they're making the new Giant Sisters games.
Oh, right.
So I asked them if they're just generally if they're okay with this doing it. They said that they're fine with it so long as I don't commercialize it, which I wouldn't do because it's a fan project.
Sure.
So long as I don't commercialize it, they're fine with it. They would appreciate a link to the website, but that wasn't strictly necessary. But I did that anyway. I've put a link to their games on Steam, I think, on their website, on our website. Yeah. One interesting thing they said is that they don't own the rights to the Amiga version.
Really?
So they own the rights to the Giant Sisters brand, and I guess maybe things like the I don't know, maybe they own the rights to the Commodore 64 version, but this particular port they don't own the rights to, and yeah, I think it could be just one of these things where a company worked on something and then they went bankrupt, and then because the rights for these things never quite disappear. So could be someone who owns the game, has absolutely no idea that he has the rights to this particular port of it.
Yeah, I don't quite understand, you know, all the legal stuff myself. I know we're aware of many legal battles as, you know, Amiga fans, and unfortunately us fans are usually on the short end of the stick with those battles.
So with the things that oh, looks like you might be stuck.
I think I am. I think I am.
Yep. Yes, so unfortunately you may need to quit.
I'll do a little reboot, no problemo.
Oh, I think if you push escape, you go back to the...
Whoops.
Or if it's not escape, it will be left or right mouse button to go back to the menu.
That would have been the smart thing to do. I just rebooted the machine.
Oh, okay. Alright. Yeah, sorry, my... So I am watching the Twitch stream, but it does seem to be a few seconds behind.
Yeah, it takes quite a while for it to get all the way to New Zealand from New York. No, I'm just joking. No, everyone is everyone's on a bit of a delay. There's just, you know, it's just what happens when you stream. But everyone in chat, thank you for joining us today. We're super lucky to have Erik Hogan, also known as Erik, with us, who is an amazing person in the Amiga community. He ports games. He, as you can see with Gianna Sisters, he remasters games, and he even has his first new release coming out soon. And we're going to talk about that in a minute. I'll fire up the Gianna Sisters one more time, and then maybe we'll talk about some of your other projects as well. Yo, Amington TVs. Everyone, sorry if I'm a little bit behind on chat. I appreciate everyone hanging out today. I just want to communicate with Erik as much as possible without interrupting him. So thanks. I'm reading the chat. I appreciate everything. If anyone has any questions for Erik, go for it, man. I would love to interact with you guys. And you know, Erik's the man. I can't, when I play these games, I can't even answer questions so well. But now, you know, here's your opportunity to ask a real game designer for the Amiga any questions you might have. So feel free to ask the questions. Johnny, I see you there in Amington TV. Speaking of game designers, Johnny, congratulations on Dream of Rowan. I can't wait to play the final version. Great stream the other day, dude. You rock. You rock. All right, here we go again. We'll play a little more Gianna, and then we'll get into some of Erik's other stuff. Now, Gianna Sisters, this splash screen. Again, that's what's so great to talk to you. I had no idea the story behind this. Alex76GR says Gianna Sisters Special Edition Developing Team rules. So yeah, Erik, this is awesome. Do you know? I don't know. This wouldn't really be a great question for you, but this game is so similar to Super Mario Brothers. Do you know if they got any heat from Nintendo over this?
Yeah. There does seem to be some. So there doesn't seem to be a clear-cut answer to that. So what I'm saying could be wrong, but as I understand it, there was some unofficial pressure. So yeah, Nintendo never went to court, but they might have just said something quietly to them, like, "Hey, you know, to take this down or sue." So yeah, because of that, it became as I understand it, became a very widely pirated game because it was only in stores for a short time. But you know, because it's a quality game, everybody wanted it. So, but yeah, ironically, you know, so they started making new Gianna Sisters games, and one of the first platforms for the new Gianna Sisters game was Nintendo DS.
I haven't played any of the new ones, but I didn't even realize there were new ones. I'll have to check them out. We have a question from Lurker74. He kind of did describe this already, Lurker. Lurker is asking what tools you use to do your development. Is it machine language program or a higher level language like C?
Yep. So when I'm doing hacks like what I did on Gianna Sisters, it's I mean they're hex edits, so So I use a hex editor to change the machine code output, or the assembly. With most of my original game development, that is done in Blitz Basic. But I'm also learning a bit of I know a bit of assembly language, so with some of my Blitz games, I'm porting parts of it to assembly just for that little bit extra speed. But I have used C on occasion for I don't like C very much, but for some really quick tools like I wrote a tool in C for being able to save files from a CD32 in non-volatile storage in VRAM. But yeah, my preference for most development is Blitz Basic.
I tell you, I don't think video games get the respect they deserve from like the general public, because I think it's really technology and art coming together to make something beautiful, an actual piece of art. So you have all of the coding and all the people, the behind the scenes people who do all of that, and then you have the artists who do this incredible artwork and bring us something visual to enjoy. So I love video games more and more every day, and they really are beautiful pieces of art, and this is one of them. It's kind of like the demo scenes. To me, it's just like the pinnacle of art and technology coming together. I love it.
I watch a lot of those, and I just have no idea how they're put together. A lot of those effects I would like to. I mean, I actually should start learning some of that stuff so I could use it in games.
It's pretty amazing what they do, especially some of those 4K demos. Is amazing. Alex76 has got a question for you. What's the screen resolution and the maximum number of colors on the screen at one time?
Sorry, is this for? I take it this is for for Giant Sisters.
I'm guessing. Yeah, I'm guessing. Alex is asking for that. Yo, game too late. Thank you for the host.
Okay, so so in game, I think the width is 320 pixels, which is standard. The height is probably 200 pixels because it's an NTSC compatible game. But yes, so so the colors, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's 30. Pretty sure it's 32 colors, with because it uses 16 colors for the main palettes, and then another 16 color. So for those 16 colors, you get Jaina herself, you get the background, the enemies. But there's another 16 colors which are just for those clouds. So you see, when Jaina overlapped those clouds, she actually went behind them. So those clouds are rendered with hardware sprites. And actually some, it turns out some cracked copies of the game actually don't have those clouds. Yeah, when I released this, I was actually quite surprised. Someone said, "Oh, you fixed the clouds," and I thought, "Well, hang on, I didn't do anything specifically for like we replaced the graphics for the clouds, but we didn't do anything in code to get them running. It's just the guy had played a cracked version which didn't have clouds in it."
No, that's funny. What's up, Roar? Great to see you, my friend. And Eric, you were also saying that a lot of when the remasters, you actually just went in and reverse engineered the files, right? That were with the original game. So you would make your own PNG files, convert them to uncompressed files, and just replace the ones that were already there. Is that correct?
More or less, yeah. So there's a couple of tools I use for that. So for code, I use like just in WinUAE, you can bring up the debugger, and so you can use that for like if you could if you can work, well, you can use it to work out what the code's doing, and so it'll show you, well, it'll give you some idea of where in the original file what you need to change. But with this, we replaced we replaced every single graphic in the game. So, oh yeah, this part here is really hard with
I can see it's not
just timing it right.
It's very difficult.
You do. I think you have to jump over him instead of going underneath. You jump over him from the
from here, maybe
from the block.
Oh, I almost had it.
But yeah, so with replacing the graphics, I use the first thing I do is I use a tool called Map Tapper. And what Map Tapper does is it will, like, you can look at the files, but oh yeah, you see on the credits there we had a little tribute to Armin, who programmed the Commodore 64 version and passed away a few years ago. But yeah, anyway, so with replacing the graphics, with Map Tapper, we can use that to what it does is it displays the data in the files graphically, so we can find where the original the original graphics were, and then just we use a different program to paste in replacement graphics.
It's amazing. One day I would love to like have you on and like actually see that whole process, see how that's done, because I've never seen that before, and it's something that it fascinates me how you do that. I would love to see a game reverse engineered. Another thing that also always fascinated me were like the guys who would crack games and then put on their cracked rows. It just, like, I wouldn't even know where to start with something like that, but I have the most respect for what you guys do.
Yeah, to be honest, yeah, I'm the same. I don't know how to crack software. I don't know how to do things like write WHD load slaves. So I have huge amount of respect for those guys. Actually, we got for this project there was some demand for a floppy disk version so that people could play this on their Amiga 500s, and that version of it was done by Galahad.
Oh, he's a legend.
From Scoopix. So he actually he did an entirely new crack of the game so that it could be put back on floppy disks, and yeah, with the new graphics and everything were done. On top of that, he ported the intro, because the intro that we'd done wasn't really suitable for a floppy disk, because it we were using like raw IIFs, and so just fitting all of the entire intro on one floppy disk, it wasn't going to work. But so Galahad worked out a nice way of taking the graphics, crunching them, and then so what he released was so it's a 2-disc edition. So the first disc is that nice intro, and then the second disc is the game. But if you don't want to watch the intro again, you can just put the game disc in and boot from there.
That's smart. I wanna get that. That sounds amazing.
There is a bug with it at the moment in that it won't boot on an NTSC machine. So we'll get around to fixing that at some point.
Eric, I can't tell you like how frustrating it is sometimes having an NTSC machine. I'm lucky I also have an Amiga 500 Plus, so I'm good on the 500 because that's a PAL machine. But fortunately, the 1200 gives you that option to boot in a PAL screen mode, and that's saved me because here in the States, like all the good stuff coming out these days is pretty much all PAL, and having that compatibility is key here in the United States and other NTSC countries. Anyway, everyone, thanks for joining today. Sorry if I'm not answering everyone's questions right away, but Actually, and everyone's comments right away. But if you have a question, go for it. We're really lucky. We have Erik Hogan, also known as Erik, with us today. He's a game designer. He remasters games and even makes his own games from scratch. And he's showing us some of his work today. Right now, we're looking at the Gianna Sisters Special Edition. And Erik, I think it's time to move on to the next one. What else do you have for us? We're definitely going to look at his brand new game that he made from scratch, Alar City. We're also going to check out a new release he just did called Project X 2017 Special Edition. Or it's Project X Special Edition 2017, version 2.0. I do have another game on this hard drive that I enjoy very much from you. I don't know if you want to fire up some Time Gal.
Yeah, I would be down for Time Gal, or do you think we should put the question to the chat? What they want to see, or? Sure.
Well, I think we'll do. How about this? We'll do Time Gal. We'll hit Time Gal for a minute because I think it's an amazing game. It's one of my favorite. Maybe my favorite. I'm not gonna pick any favorites, but let's just say I love Time Gal. I absolutely love this game. So we'll show them Time Gal, and then we'll go into Alar City because I want to make sure we learn a lot about Alar City. I'm sure we'll go into that, and then we'll just do a little bit on Project X.
Yep, that sounds good to me.
Perfect. I don't know how much time you have, but I got about another hour and a half. You don't have to stay the whole time. I know. I'm sure you have to get up and go to work. Erik is actually calling us from the future. It's Wednesday, this Wednesday morning in New Zealand where he is. So I appreciate you getting up so early to come do this, Erik. It's really kind of you.
No worries. Yeah, my hours are quite flexible, so I can go in whenever.
Excellent. All right, take care, Will. Hopefully I'll see you next week at the WOG meeting. It's a pleasure. All right, so Time Gal, when you released this earlier in the year, now you do focus a lot on CD32 releases, right? Because you have a CD32.
Yeah, it's unfortunately my CD32 is my only real Amiga, so I do have a bit of a bias towards the CD32 and towards AGA stuff.
Mm-hmm. Understood.
Although Time Gal, we decided not to go with AGA. We just made it OCS so that it could basically run on any Amiga that has enough hard drive space for it, or has a CD-ROM.
It's amazing. So Time Gal is a game. What would you describe the genre? It's very much like Dragon's Lair, where you see an activity on the screen playing off a laser disc, and then you choose your own direction, whether it's up, down, left, right, or the fire button. Does that genre have a name, Erik?
Yeah, I don't really know. I mean, they are QuickTime event games, so it's basically an entire game that's a series of QuickTime events. Excellent. But yeah, I think these games are actually much better than the QuickTime events you see in modern games, because modern games, QuickTime events, that's usually like a random button, whereas this, at least, like what you have to do, the button you have to push or the direction you have to push lines up with something on screen.
Sure, it's very interactive. It's pretty seamless. So Time Gal originally was a Laserdisc game, is that correct?
Yeah, originally, yes.
So you so the original Laserdisc footage was ripped for Sega Mega Drive, and then why don't you explain the whole process for us? Because
okay. Well, so yeah, the Wolf Team, which is one of the Sega CD developers, they did a few Mega CD and Sega CD games. What they did for Time Gal is they took their they got a rip of the footage, and they it looks like they tweaked a lot of it to because of the limitations of the Sega CD, so they sort of redrew a lot of it to look more pixel art. What we did with this is so I actually downloaded a rip of the Laserdisc footage from YouTube.
Wow.
Oh, actually, yeah. So that, except there were a couple of there was some footage that was actually missing from that. So the footage that was missing, I got from the PlayStation version. But yeah, so we downloaded it. We ripped it to individual frames. Like I did some calculations to work out, well, with the CD32's 2-speed CD-ROM, how much data can we play back? So so I set the resolution and the frame rate based on that. So we ripped it to individual frames. We converted it to ham6. Zach did some. He came up with a scheme for changing the contrast and saturation to try and reduce some of the artifacting. So you get these really vibrant colors, but also it because the contrast has been increased, you don't
You don't notice it as much. It kind of masks it.
So you don't. Yeah, so I mean, so because we wanted to support OCS, of course we're stuck with the 4096 colors. But despite that, I think it came out pretty well.
I think it looks amazing. So you guys went through every single frame of this animation.
What we I wrote a batch file to manage it. So the batch file firstly uses this Windows tool, FFmpeg, to split it to individual frames. Then we used ImageMagick, which is another Windows program, to batch convert every single one of those frames to the color scheme that we like. Then we used another program to convert it from that format into Amiga IFFs.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so that's all I do so far as the Windows side of it. I then had a utility I wrote in Blitz Basic that would load those individual frames and then basically convert it to raw data. Because with IIFs, like we don't, it's too slow to be loading new IIFs like 9 times a second. I think the frame rate was 9 frames a second.
Wow, it looks really smooth for 9 frames a second. Well, that's amazing. That's a great process. You know, using modern tools to help you remaster the game on an Amiga, and you know, it's got like a kind of a ham feel, but it looks great. And I mean, personally, I love to see a little ham fringing now and then. It's near and dear to my heart. But that is quite an effort. So you remastered all the frames using that technique, and then you put it all together in Blitz Basic.
So it is actually a Blitz Basic game, but the tools for taking those individual images and putting them together is like or basically putting them together as a single file. So it's almost like it streams back. So the game updates on every vertical blank. So every time the beam reaches the bottom of the screen, it updates some of the logic. But in the background, it's constantly loading the next few frames.
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. So that's actually quite different to like the CDXL format, which you get in the intro for some CD32 games. So CDXL, it basically streams it back, and then if your CD drive is playing up, then it will become quite glitchy. With this, what it does is it loads like a block of frames and audio. And if for some reason there's some problems with your CD drive, it's not running so well, what the game will do is it will pause until that rest of the data is loaded into memory.
And you don't need the FMV card for this on the CD32, do you?
No, no, no. It's all pure. Uh,
It's
it's actually
all
very.
go ahead.
Yeah. It's very lightweight so far as processing goes. Like it will run just fine on an Amiga 500 if you've got a big enough hard drive. You only need a 6800 processor. You probably do need 2 meg of chip RAM, or at least 1 meg of chip RAM, but you definitely don't need any fast RAM.
That's cool. I just actually picked up an ACA 500 plus, so I think this would be a great one to put on my 500 because you know, I never knew that this actually ran on an Amiga 500 before. It's incredible. My buddy Mayhem Maybe, also known as Anthony Becker from the Guru Meditations in chat, and he burned a copy of Time Gal for his CD32, and we had it on display at our Commodore retrospective exhibit at the Vintage Computer Festival this year. And it was awesome to see it run on the real hardware, and you know, obviously running on the CD32, but I had no idea it would run on a Amiga 500 as well. That's incredible, an OCS machine. It's absolutely brilliant, and it's just a great game. I love it. It was a big hit. It was a big hit at the festival. People, we couldn't peel people away from it, especially our friend Bella. I think he played hours of it. But it's a lot of fun. So you're explaining the process of, you know, how you guys did Gianna Sisters Special Edition, how you did Time Gal. Like how many hours or days do you even have an estimate of how long like a project like this takes, especially when you're doing things, you know, like frame by frame?
No, this one didn't take too long actually. Like, so I did a prototype of an FMV game engine. I'm not sure if you'd seen it, but so I did a really short FMV game based on the movie Blue Thunder.
Oh, cool! I haven't seen that one.
Are you familiar? Okay, if you're not familiar with the movie, it's basically about a so it's a movie from the sort of mid-early 80s. It's got the guy Roy Schneider from Jaws as the protagonist, and it's basically about a high-tech surveillance helicopter that so it's being tested in Los Angeles, and turns out that some very unsavory government types are planning to use it for nasty purposes. So the hero ends up stealing the helicopter, and then there's a few chases in the helicopter where they try to shoot it down. So yeah, I did an FMV game based on one scene from that movie, and uploaded that, and then a guy named I'm not sure if the pronunciation is right, Seppo Sapalev from Scoopix. He got in touch and said, oh, you know, why don't you use this to port a full game? And we started talking about different games we could do. I wasn't really interested in porting Dragon's Lair because it's, you know, you can still buy. I think you can still buy it on Steam. So I sort of wanted something that wasn't generally available, and he suggested Time Gal. I'd never actually played it before, but okay, so I actually agreed to port the game before ever actually playing it. But yeah, it was a good fit for the FMV technology. It'd come up with the Blue Thunder prototype, and I thought, yeah, because there hasn't been a new version of this since the PlayStation 1 version. So I thought, oh, you know, we're not going to run into any troubles with this. What happened about a month after, I think it was about a month after we released this, a whole bunch of new versions came out for like Android and iOS, and I thought, oh crap, are they gonna complain about it now? But no, we haven't. We haven't had any complaints about it.
That's good. I mean,
so far,
especially since it's really it's a fan port. You know, you guys aren't charging for it.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I mean, it's an old game. It's it's for an old system. We're not charging any money for it.
Yeah.
Although if you've got I'd recommend checking out the Android or iOS version. Apparently they are pretty good.
I'll have to check them out. Although playing it on an Android or an iPhone is not as cool as playing it on an Amiga.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
Like you expect them to be able to do anything, but like to see the Amiga do something like this is really awesome. And yeah, you were mentioning Dragon's Lair. It's smart. I think that was a good move not to spend time on it. I love Dragon's Lair, but like Dragon's Lair for the Amiga is actually an outstanding game. Like, they did an amazing job on it back then. I don't know if you've played it, but it's not. It's not video. Yeah.
The fact that they're able to get a good deal of the game on floppy disks, that's amazing. With this game with Timegale, it's the video footage is about 500 meg.
Wow.
So that's what, like 700 or 800 floppy disks it would have had to have come on if we'd released it that way.
Amazing. Hey, what's up, Art State? I see Pierre there, and Anthony, and Johnny from Amyton TV. Everyone, thanks for hanging out today. We're super lucky we have Erik Hogan with us. He's got a new game out called Aller City, which we're going to play in a minute. He's also taken us through some of his other projects that he's worked on. Right now, we've got Time Gal up on the screen. We took a look at Gianna Sisters Special Edition. I want to check out Project X Special Edition 2017 as well, Erik. Maybe you want to hit Project X next, and then we'll finish out the rest of the thing with Aller City, since there's probably a lot to say about that.
Yep, that sounds good. So, the Project X Special Edition was actually that was actually a really quick update. Like for instance, with Giant Sisters, we took a long time to do it. We replaced all of the art and a lot of the sound and all the palettes. But with Project X, it was really just. So I started playing the CD32 version, and I got really annoyed with. There were a couple of things about it. The thing that I was most annoyed about is that you can. Like if you wiggle the D-pad a little bit, like you're just trying to dodge things, sometimes that will activate a weapon upgrade. So you'll often end up buying things that you didn't want. So you're not only wasting currency, but sometimes it will downgrade you if it, if you happen to have a lower weapon selected.
That's pretty annoying mechanic.
Yeah, and the other thing was like. You couldn't. So there are only three minor things that I patched. So one was I just took out that things. So if you want to do a weapons upgrade, you have to use the second button. So you either have to have a Mega Drive pad or a CD32 pad, or you can still upgrade with the space bar. So yeah, I just took away the ability to upgrade from waggling the stick because. So that in that case, you can play however you like, as aggressively as you like with the stick without worrying about accidentally triggering the upgrade. The other things is that so in the previous release, you could only select one of the first 3 levels from the menu, but you had to actually play through to the 3rd level. And you had to do it in the arcade mode, the hard mode. So I'll show you. If you go to select level,
I love the music. I like this game just to listen to the Alistair Brimble music. It's amazing.
Yeah.
All right, let's start it up. So yep. So we have 1 player, our start level, and our options. So we got the start level, right?
So if you go to start level, you can select any of the 5 levels right from the start. The previous release, you could only select 3 levels, and you could only select the 3rd level when you'd actually reached it. So right from starting the game, you can just jump to wherever. And Oh, and because I did this for the floppy disk release, what it means is like because the previous version does have a level skip cheat, but what you would have had to do is you would have had to go to the first level, wait for the disk to load, push the skip cheat, swap the disk, keep doing that repeatedly until you get to the level that you want. Whereas this, you just select the level and then go start game, switch the disk.
It's some really nice, like, subtle but key game, improvements to the game experience for sure. Yeah, Roar says the level selection is very nice. Well, let's start with level 4 because I probably never have gotten to level 4 before.
Fair enough.
Let's see what our other options are. Do you change anything here? You can select the aircraft.
Yeah. So the only other options change I made is with the difficulty mode. So if you change it to rookie, you're able to complete the game. Whereas previously, if you're on rookie mode, then level 5 was out.
Ah.
But I have actually received a bug report this morning, and I still need to receive more details. Apparently, at least some of the time, the final boss doesn't show up. So I don't know why. So the final boss is level 5. So I don't know why that is. I'll need to do a bit of digging and investigation. But yeah, level 4 should be alright.
We'll give it a go. So if you're saying the bug that they found was if you play level 5 in rookie mode, sometimes the boss doesn't show up. But it's this is I'm sure you'll get to the bottom of it.
Yep. Actually got a message back from the guy. So he said he only saw it once.
So it's not something that happens all the time.
No, and it could be a bug with the original game. So this this update is based on the CD32 release, except for the ADF version, which is based on a cracked release. But the CD32 version did have some crashing bugs. I wasn't able to fix those myself. This guy named Ross stepped in on English Amiga board and gave a hand with finding the bugs and taking them out. So this level's quite nice because you've got you can go above and below water, and it's the ship handles a little bit differently underwater.
Yeah, and it's hard to avoid some of those stalactites or whatever you call them. It's a very challenging level. Roar, I'm not sure. We'll see what level 5 is because we can skip to it now. This is such a good game, Eric. I love it. Thanks for making it even better.
No worries.
It's such a classic. It's such a classic Amiga game.
Yeah, I have mixed feelings about it actually. Like graphically, it's amazing. The audio is amazing. I have some complaints about the gameplay. Sorry, just answering the question in the blog. Level 3 is the volcano level.
Ah, okay.
So yeah, level 1 is space. Level 2 is sort of like on the surface where there's some snow. Level 3 is the volcano. This is level 4, the underwater stage, and then level 5. I guess it's kind of like a tunnel or some sort of superstructure. In response to Johnny's question, I suppose from a technical point of view, there's absolutely no basically, I probably don't have any legal rights to do these things. With Giant Sisters, I actually did ask the rights holders if that was okay, and they said yes. With this, it's just, the game's been out so long. I don't think you can still buy. Sometimes they release these and re-release these games on Steam. But with this, Yeah, I mean, with this, I'll leave it up unless, if Team 17 really don't want this out there, then I'll take it down.
I have a feeling if they ever re-release it, they'll come hire you. Because
I don't know.
I hope
mean,
so.
You
fixed their game great.
Yeah. And if they do want to do some sort of Steam release and include this version, I'm totally fine with that. But yeah, I mean, you do need. Well, I mean, you do need to at least be a little bit aware of what's going on. Like, because I did a CD32 release of Jim Power. So I didn't really patch that or anything. It was just to put the game on a CD32 disc, and we did a nice CDXL intro for it and spent a bit of time on it. And then a couple of days later, a guy got in touch, said, I'm the rights holder for this, and we're releasing it on Steam and a whole bunch of different platforms. So I thought, yeah, so we took it down because of that, and we haven't put it back up because we respect the rights holders for that, or we respect the rights holders in general. Just
I think that was a class move, and I know all the Amiga community like really appreciates your efforts, and I mean I don't see any harm at all in what you're doing. You're just bringing some old games back to life, and now here we are playing Project X. They released this on Steam. I'm buying it. You know what I mean? It's gonna like.
If they do release this on Steam, then I may have to take this down, or whatever it may be. Just hoping they, I mean, I'll just leave it up until somebody complains about it.
Sure. No, and that's a really cool, respectful way to do it, and let people enjoy it for now, and then. You know what? Like I said, if the Steam release ever comes out of any of your stuff, like I'm buying it. And you know what? It probably wouldn't even be on my radar or a lot of people's radars if you didn't do these. So I think in the long run, it's actually helping those people. Because now I'm playing Project X again, and it wasn't on my radar until you did this remaster. This is awesome. This is a great game. I'm gonna have to try one of the other levels. Yeah, everyone's saying thank you for your awesome work, Erik. It's awesome. And I mean the fact of the matter is you're not taking money for these. These are just passion projects. So no harm, no foul.
Yeah, that's true. And we'd never charge for any of these these special edition things. It's only when we do something completely original, completely from scratch, then we may put a price tag on it.
Sure. Now you also did like a WHD load version of this Project X, right? I think there was two. There was a version that was for WHD load, and then there's a version that just runs without WHD load. The advantage of the WHD load is that when you're done with the game, you can exit to Workbench, but I think I can't exit to Workbench. That's correct.
Yeah. So I use the CD32 version as the base because I wanted to patch it so I could actually enjoy it a bit more on my CD32.
Sure.
But it turns out the CD32 version is actually compatible with the WHD load version. And yeah, WHD load has some really nice advantages to it. Like I think the slave does fix a couple of issues, but also if you're running WHD load version, I think you can just push F10 and you can quit back to Workbench. But otherwise, if you're not running the WHD load version, you have to reboot.
Gotcha. I am not running the WHD load version right now because WHD load I have some compatibility problems with it with the particular accelerator I have in this machine right now. So for me, I go non-WHD load when possible. But some of the guys in chat are saying. Like Anthony's saying, it can show some of these developers just how popular some of these games are, and breathe new life into them. Seeing Cat, my man Seeing Cat, what's up, buddy? He loves like Amiga J's CD32 project because his CD32 is getting a terrible fire, riser board plus compact flash card, that's an awesome upgrade to the CD32. So I think your work is just inspiring people and keeping this stuff alive. I think it's awesome. Yeah, Anthony also says. it could convince the rights holders to do something with these games, you know, instead of just letting them sit there and rot away, you know. What's up, Amiga Love? How's it going, buddy? ArtState says he thinks they had Project X on the PlayStation as well.
I think it was a sequel to Project X that was on the PlayStation, X2.
Ah, okay.
But maybe the original game was on the PlayStation. I don't know.
Let's see. I'm trying level 5 here, and then speaking of original games, we'll fire up some Alar City.
Yep. So yeah. So I did have a report that oh, is this not loading?
Yeah, we might have a new report here.
Oh.
I tried all the other levels before the stream, and they all worked. I haven't tested 5 yet, so we'll try it one more time.
Okay. Yep.
And like I said, this accelerator card I have in this 500 is I'm replacing it because there's just so many incompatibility problems especially with WHD load, and I need to be able to use WHD load in modern Amiga times. That's where all the fun stuff is. It makes it so much easier to do these streams as well because I don't have to like swap floppies in and out, and I have everything at my fingertips. All right, games, Project X, Erik edition. He played. It had rendered graphics. ArtState Digital said it had rendered graphics on the PlayStation. Ozzy, this is sort of a new Project X. This is Project X Special Edition 93, but our friend Erik, also known as Erik Hogan, who is on the line with us, he is someone who does a lot of remasters, a lot of ports, and he made some really nice enhancements to Project X. As you can see now, you can go to the start level, and you can choose any one of the 5 levels to start on, so you don't have to start at the first level. You can also start on rookie level at the higher levels. He disabled the wiggle to change your weapon upgrade, so you don't accidentally purchase an upgrade when you don't want to. So there's some like really nice little creature comfort features that he added for us in Project X, and I'm showing you this today because it's a new one. It just came out recently, right, Erik? You just finished it?
Yeah. So it was a very quick project. I basically so I did the WHD load and CD32 versions more or less overnight.
Wow.
And then I got a request for an ADF edition, so that people could play it on their original machine, or their Amiga 500. Now, so I'll put the so I just pasted the link to the project page in the chat. Now I've actually forgot to put the floppy disk version there, so I'll just link to where you can download that.
Perfect. Yeah, I've started putting the chat like on screen, so you know, in the future, if this archive, I think after like 60 days or something, the actual video archive goes away from Twitch. But I put it on my YouTube channel, and then people can always see it, which is cool. Someone's got a question. Ozzy Boshi is asking if this will run on an unexpanded Amiga 600.
Yeah. So I think so the requirements are exactly the same as the original edition. It doesn't yeah, I think it is a 1 meg game, but you only need a 6800. You don't need any fast RAM. The floppy disk version, I mean, yeah, so it's based on a crack by the Ministry group, and so that took a little bit of time to do because the code that I changed to the CD32 edition was worked a little bit differently on the floppy disk version. Also, the floppy disk version, the files were crunched, so I had to work out how to uncrunch them and recrunch them. But yeah, it seems to be all right.
So Erik, oh, sorry to interrupt. I was gonna say, you know what I did this time is I'm playing it on regular difficulty and not the easy difficulties, and so maybe I can try it again on the easy, see if it crashes it or not. Erik, did that link work? Your Mega link? It looks like there's a space in there between the.
Yeah, Mega links are very weird. if you take out the space, I'll see if it works. Yeah. So just got to take out the space from that what I pasted in there.
Gotcha. Seeing Cat is so excited. He's grooming you with a 5 1/4-inch floppy.
Yeah, maybe it's just like because there's a hash in that link. It's it treats it as a hashtag or something and splits it. I don't know.
Gotcha.
But anyway, so the so code wise, it it is so I didn't recompile anything. I just made some edits in a hex editor to the original files. So yeah, I can only resume this as all coded in a assembly language. It's very smooth despite everything happening all at once. So yeah, what I did is I just for those things that I wanted to tweak, so with the level select menu, I just had to find the restriction where it said, okay, only let you play up to level 3 if you have unlocked level 3, and I just changed it to say, okay, always let them go to level 5, and then I added the the text for level 4 and level 5.
That's amazing. Like I was saying before, Eric, I would love to see you do that one day, just because I hear the concepts that you do, and I would just love to see them in action, because that's it's so impressive. That'd be fun to hang out and do that one day. And Ozzy also. Sorry.
On Johnny's channel, I've done some. I did some Blitz Basic tutorials where I did a like a really rudimentary port of 1942, just to show off the basics of Blitz Basic.
I remember that you were doing some scrolling, like some vertical scrolling. So if you, I would love to go back and check some of those out too. So if you want to check out some of Erik, aka Erok's work on Johnny's stream, Amyton TV, our friend Johnny is a big supporter of this channel, of the Guru Meditation channel. Go check out Amyton TV. He's on a slight sabbatical till 2018, taking a little time out. So it'll be fun to go back and watch some of Johnny's stuff, because he works so hard and does. He's the Amiga stream machine. Ozzy is asking if this was built with Blitz Basic. I'll let you answer, Erik, because you can answer better than me.
Oh no. So this So I do some stuff in Blitz Basic, but no, this Project X Special Edition, it is really just the original game, or the original 93 Special Edition, but with a few hacks here and there, so that so the reason I did the project is because I made a serious attempt to get into the CD32 version. I just couldn't because of certain things I was annoyed about, so I just took the files and made a few hacks. Oh yeah, you can see in the credits we've got some acknowledgements. Oh, sorry, that would have been a few seconds ago now.
Oh, you know what? Let me just play it real quick, and I want to make sure everyone gets there. Give credit where credit is due. I'm gonna stay. If you want, we can do a little troubleshoot. We could try.
You just try level 5 on Rookie then.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Rookie. Exit options. We'll go to start level 5, and yeah, let's give it a go. Let's see.
Yep. So yeah, I did receive a bug report about that level on Rookie, where one time the boss didn't show up, but other times the boss did arrive at the end. And yeah, it's difficult to tell if it's something I've done, or if there were bugs in the original game. There definitely were bugs in some bugs in the original game. Oh, but it's working this time.
It worked this time. Yeah, interesting. It could have been something with RAM. Seeing Cat is requesting any Castlevania games for the Amiga. He would love to see ported. I'm with him on that. Castlevania is an awesome series.
Yep. Oh, and that question about Lionheart, I mean, I've played Lionheart a little bit. But that sort of change, I'm not sure if I would be able to do myself. What I would recommend is going on English Amiga board and making a post in the support page. So either they can point you in the direction of a cracked copy that works. Presumably the WHD load version works. Although I think I've only played to about the second boss.
You're talking about you're responding to Roar's comment about considering Lionheart with the trainer, right?
Yep.
Lionheart's Roar loves Lionheart. He got me hooked on it. That game's gorgeous. The pixel art is amazing. Ozzy's asking if you ever worked for Team 17 and how you got the Project X code, but I assume you kind of reverse engineer it. You don't actually have the code. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. So no, I've never had any contact with anyone from Team 17. What I did is I used the debugger in WinUAE, which so that lets me see assembly. Like, I mean, it decompiles the code, or it disassembles the code, so that when you're playing it in real time, you can see you can see the assembly language output. So from that, I was able to work out, okay, if I can unlock the rest of these levels if I make this hex edit. So I was able to make those edits in the WinUAE debugger to test it, and then when that was all good, I was able to find in the original file, like I was able to just make those changes permanently in the original file.
That's amazing. That is one of the coolest uses of WinUAE I've heard. Oh, here we go. Here's the credits.
Yeah.
Oh no, I didn't get to the credits. Maybe I didn't get a high score?
No, sorry, the high score table. Oh, okay, yeah. If you leave it running for about 30 seconds, it should just bring up the high score.
Anthony's asking for Fantize 2 for the Amiga. They had all 3 for the ST, but only 1 and 3 for the Amiga. That'd be a cool gap to fill.
Yeah, I think English Amiga board, I think there was a thread dedicated to what games on Atari ST we should get on Amiga, and as we have been getting a few ports recently, so we got Karateka on Amiga recently. A few years back we got we got Gauntlet 1, we got Super Sprint, the original International Karate, Where Time Stood Still.
I love the Karateka port. Karateka is one of my all-time favorite games. I used to play it on the Apple II, the Apple IIe. Yeah. That was my jam.
Oh, sorry. I believe OIDS does exist for Amiga now. I'll see if I can find the link.
Which one for the Amiga you said? Oh, I see. It's actually
1 second.
And when you get a chance, Eric, Ozzy's got another question. He says, your reverse engineering from WinUAE seems a bit complicated. Does it take a lot of time? I think you said you did this in a night. Is that possible? Did I hear that correct?
Yeah. I mean, so it wasn't like a rewrite or anything. It was just I found some. I just dug into the assembly a little bit. So compared to like the amount of effort that I put in is far less than you'd need to put into crack a game, for instance. Sorry, that link I just posted, it's where you can download OIDS for Amiga. You can Oh, but I think OIDS needs like an expanded Amiga. I don't think it runs very well on a 6820. I think you really need a 6830 and maybe some fast RAM.
I haven't played OIDS. I gotta try it. Thanks for. Oh, and Maynaf, he's another big poster on English Amiga board. Is that correct?
Yeah. So he does a lot of So he does a lot of different projects. I think he's most famous for porting porting Atari ST games. He actually does them so they're system friendly, so they can run with multitasking.
Oh wow!
Which is quite nice. It's actually really cool for my some of my CD32 projects because you can run it alongside programs that map a CD32 pad to the keyboard. So, for instance, ages ago I did a fighting game compilation for CD32, which I really need to re-release. It's not online at the moment, but it included Karateka, and you could do all of the punches and kicks from the CD32 pad.
Oh, that's nice. And so, wait, was that was a Maynaf release?
Yeah. So Maynaf did the Atari ST port. What I did was I just put it on a disk with running next to a utility that converts CD32 pad button pushes into keyboard button pushes, and because it's system friendly, because it's multitasking, I was able to quite easily make it so karate could be played with CD32 pad.
Oh, that's so cool. I really want a CD32 badly. Having those extra buttons is really nice. And it's a cool looking console. Cool. Well, this is amazing, Eric. Thanks so much for joining us today. Everyone who's watching in chat, we're lucky to have Mr. Erik Hogan with us today, also known as Erik. He's a game designer. He does amazing ports and remastered games for the Amiga, and he also makes original games, or at least this is his first original game, Alar City. I'm excited to play this demo, Erik. It's a really cool game. I guess maybe we'll play the game first, and then I can switch over to PC mode, and we can show the folks where to pre-order it, because I know this new version 1.0 of the demo was just released, and they're now accepting pre-orders for digital copy of Alar City and a physical copy of Alar City. So maybe we'll do some surfing after we play the demo and show folks where they can pre-order it. So I think I'm going to fire up Alar now.
Okay, sounds good. Just quickly to a response to Raw's question, our launch window is currently the second quarter of 2018. That is subject to obviously we want it to be as good as we can, but also, I mean, we don't want it to drag on forever. We don't want it to we don't want it to be another Duke Nukem Forever. So so we're going to aim to get it as good as we can and finished around the second quarter of 2018.
Excellent. Yeah, it's the kind of thing where it's a tough balance, right? Because you want to make the game great, as good as it could possibly be, but you also don't want it to drag out forever, because then it loses steam and interest.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing is, if it does drag on, then I will try to release like beta versions for backers.
Mm-hmm.
We can't guarantee that at this stage, but yeah, we'll just see how how we go with things. And I mean, obviously we'll we'll keep posting about it. We've got a thread on the English Amiga board, and yeah, when we add new features, new modes, we'll and new graphics, we'll let everybody know.
Cool. Thanks for the info. Great question, Roar. And yeah, Anthony makes a good point. He says there are adapters that let you hook up a PlayStation controller to the Amiga and use it like a CD32 controller on eBay. I know there's one for the PlayStation 2 that works really well. Like you can put a PS2 controller on, and it gives you the button mapping of a CD32 controller, which is pretty cool. Go for it.
Oh, sorry, just to clarify, this version of the demo isn't publicly available for download just yet. It is. It's sort of like we've distributed it to a few people, and for making YouTube videos and live streams like this. The demo will be released, I think, this weekend.
Where can they get it? Where can they check?
So yeah. We will well, we posted on the official site, so I'll just get you the link for that.
We'll go take a look at it too later on screen, because it's a really cool website with cool projects, and you can also, if you follow Guru Meditation on Facebook or at the Guru Meditate on Twitter, I'll be sure to post about it for you, Eric, when it comes out.
Yep. So yeah. So when the demo is out, it will be here. Yeah, so we released this version of the demo just for a few people so that we could get some bug test reports.
There was an earlier version, right, called 0.2, if I'm not mistaken, because I played that earlier. It was great.
Yep. So I'm just going to look at ArtState's message. So Untouchables was one of the games I've done a special edition on. I actually did spend a fair bit of time on that one. While Project X was a fairly quick fix, Untouchables was quite an extensive reworking. I'm just going to have a look at that. Oh, that is weird. I thought I had done this recently, so I thought, no, okay. Yeah, I will, ArtState, thanks for bringing that to my attention. So, yeah, after the stream, I'll re-upload Untouchables special edition stuff.
Cool. I think we're all caught up there. It's interesting. I think you actually see the chat before I do, because you start responding to the one before I see it, and then as you start to respond, then I see it come up. It's interesting. Good old Twitch. Okay. Good old Twitch strikes again. Anyway, so Eric, what do you want to tell us about Alar City? What's the concept of the game?
Well, it's a first and foremost, it's a top-down shooter. Run and gun, very frantic, but it's also a game that is it's also an RPG. So your character, you can choose different upgrades, different weapons, different combinations of a weapon and an effect for that weapon. So some effects do more damage, some effects will freeze enemies so they slow down, and others will push enemies away. Some effects will deflect shots. So yeah, so what we have at the moment is a demo for survival mode. So survival mode is, it's basically like an arcade mode. So you're dropped into the world and you just have to survive as long as you can. You will eventually die, and then you're given a score based on how well you did. Bill, have you played this version before, or this is your first time?
I played version 0.2, which seems similar to this, but I don't think that upgrade tree was there. I could be mistaken. Maybe I just didn't know how to find it.
It's very different to that version.
Yeah, this is cool. I played a little bit before the stream. Before we get started, I just want to say thanks everyone for hanging out today. This is a really, really cool stream. We're super lucky to have Erik Hogan with us, also known as Erik. He is an incredible member of the Amiga community. He does ports of games to the Amiga. He does remastered versions of Amiga games, and Alar City is his first ground up game. The game he's making from the ground up. And obviously, it's not just you. You have a team of people working on this with you. I'm sure it's not a large team. But yeah, this game is Alar City, a top-down shooter, and so far the demo is awesome. I can't wait to jump in and play it. So I see under controls we have joystick A, joystick B, a CD32 joypad A, CD32 joypad B, and keyboard. This game would be hard to play with keyboard. But I think joystick A, that means traditional Amiga joystick port setup.
Yeah. So it yeah. So you can play it with one button joystick.
Looks like we shoot fire button. We swap weapons by double clicking. Inventory is space or fire 2, which we don't have on this joystick. We can equip our weapons, so we have 1 to 7 weapon slots. 7 weapon slots, wow. And we have elements. What are the elements?
The weapons, I think there's only 3 in this demo. Hopefully by the final release we will have all 7 slots. So the elements are so you can do different colors for, well, the elements give your character a different color, but they also, when you're shooting enemies, it gives your bullets a different effect. So your default effect does the most damage, but it doesn't do anything special. You've got the green effect, which pushes enemies back, so you can smash them against the walls for a bit of extra damage. You've got the blue effect, which freezes enemies momentarily, and then you've got the purple effect, which you can use for blocking enemy shots.
Oh wow. Yeah, it's interesting because let's start playing it soon. But when I was playing it, I thought maybe you want to match the color of your element to the color of your enemy.
Oh no, there's no. At the moment, there's nothing fancy like. Well, there's nothing like that. It's just. Yeah. So it just sort of it affects how you play a little bit.
Cool.
But it doesn't. You don't need a special color for a specific enemy.
Kill enemies, collect stuff, survive, get the girl.
Yep. So, yeah. I'm not sure how to pronounce his name. P. Fontaine 2.
That's Pierre.
To answer his question, So to answer his question, yes, this is an AGA game. So the menu screen, it doesn't actually use any copper tricks. It is just a 128 color screen. This bit here does use some copper tricks. So in the UI there, you've got some subtle brown gradients that that's all done with the copper.
What's up, Wayne Ashworth? Sorry guys, I love when everyone says hi. I'm just not responding as much as usual because we are so lucky to have Erik with us today, and he's giving us an incredible amount of great information. Erik, I wasn't anticipating such like a thorough discussion with you. This is really kind of you, and I appreciate you taking the time out to hang out with us. It's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, no worries. I'm really enjoying being here.
So here I'm killing enemies, and they're dropping things. I see like rubies. Like there's like a ruby there. Some different gems. I assume this is sort of an in-game currency.
Yeah, there's actually 2 currencies. So, you on the bottom left you've got your coin or your money. So that's you get that from the coins you pick up, from the gems you pick up. You use that for buying items and for buying upgrades to your gun. On the right-hand side is your experience bar. So when that fills up, you get what we call XP orbs. So that's the number on the bottom right is your XP orbs, and use that for buying permanent character upgrades. So you can permanently increase your speed, increase your health, increase your maximum upgrades.
It's getting difficult, Eric. the heat is on here.
Yeah. So this since this is since this is an arcade mode, which is well, like an arcade mode, it is quite difficult because we don't. Yeah. So, because we didn't want people to, have it just get bored playing that level forever. Because the final game we're going to have a story mode, which is where you you progress through different levels. But with this mode, this version, because it's arcade, because it's arcade-like, unless you're really good, you probably only play a few minutes at most.
That's fine. It wouldn't be an Amiga game if it was easy. We learned. We all went to the school of hard knocks. The kids today they have it easy with all these save all the time, auto save, easy level, PlayStation stuff. It's we learned the hard way. But this is cool, man. I love top-down shooters like this. One of my favorite. Oh, I have a different weapon now. One of my favorite games that was released, I think it might have been this year, a modern release, is called Nex Machina, and it was by Eugene Jarvis, the guy who did Robotron, and it's also a top-down shooter, and it's definitely from the same ilk as Alar City. So this type of game is awesome. It's super fun. Definitely a Robotron, Berserk, top-down shooter feel. So to switch weapons, I can do, if I press 1. Oh, neat.
So, now if you go into the shop, the inventory screen, that should be. It's also a shop as well. So if you push space, you'll, oh, sorry, I think, my stream is way behind now. I'll just try refreshing the page to see if it will, bring it a bit closer up to date. So along the top row there, you've got permanent upgrades, so you can spend XP orbs on them. I don't think you have any at the moment.
The blue is the XP orbs, right?
Yes. So that will give you things like faster speed, more armor. Second row, you can upgrade your weapons. The third row, you can upgrade your effects, so you can you can do more damage, or you can freeze enemies for longer. And then the last row are items that you can purchase to use in game.
Sorry, Eric, I was reading the chat. What did you say the first row is?
So those are permanent character upgrades. So they use the XP orbs.
Ah, okay, permanent. So like, so the shield gives you more armor, essentially. The red.
It reduces the amount of damage you take from every enemy hit.
Mm.
The first one, the red one, that gives you like more health.
Right.
Then you've got
Does it give you more refill your health, or does it give you like a higher limit on your health?
Higher limit.
Okay. Cool. And then the one next to the shield, the two arrows pointing left, right.
Yep. So if you hover the cursor over any of those, it'll give you a bit of a description. But yeah, that's
Oh, there. That would be easy, wouldn't it? Yo, Eric, if you excuse me just for 1 second, we've been going for over 2 hours here, and I drank an entire bottle of kombucha, and I needed a quick timeout. I'll be back in 1 minute, guys. Thanks to everyone for hanging out today. Just give me 1 minute. If anyone has any questions for Eric, go for it.
Actually, yes, Amiga Love, that is correct. It was based on, it was derived from Turok. I think you're the first person to actually guess that without being told.
All right. Art State. You know, it's funny. I do have a wireless lavalier microphone, and I stopped using it for a good reason. I did. I had a Jim Carrey moment, or no, didn't Leslie Nielsen do that in maybe Police Squad as well? I had a moment where I went to the bathroom and forgot that the mic was still on. The zip stick. Yeah, this is the slick stick. I actually picked it up with my buddy Anthony Mayhem Baby, who's there in chat, at this really cool vintage game store in New Jersey. This is a classic. It's by Suncom. It's a great stick. Go for a whiz. Eric, did you respond to Amiga Love? Is Iraq from Eric plus Turok?
Yes, he guessed that correctly.
Excellent. Saxy and I always wash my hands. I would not touch my beloved Amiga with soiled hands. White gloves only for my 1200. Oh man. Police Squad, yeah. Oh yeah, Mayhem says Tower 57 is another great release to sure. Yeah, Tower 57 we played a couple of days ago. That one is like a retro game. It's like a throwback to pixel art, the pixel art days, the 8-bit pixel art days. But Next Mahina is just like full on. They made the graphics as good as possible. But this game is, the gameplay so far is great. Let's finish going through these, Eric. We got health upgrades, armor upgrade. Okay, that increases your speed. Got it. Criticals upgrade makes critical hits happen more often. Oh, okay, so that's gotcha.
Yeah. So critical hits works similar to how it does in, say, Dungeons and Dragons. A random number of your shots will do extra damage, and you'll see when it happens, the screen shakes a little bit. So that means, so if you upgrade that, it will happen more often and with a higher amount of damage.
Sweet. And then we have like a sword with some red dots underneath it. That's
yeah. So that will let you upgrade your. That will give you more. So you can upgrade your weapons to a higher level. So at the moment you can only upgrade each of your weapons once, but if you do that upgrade, you can upgrade each of your weapons to the second level.
Sweet. It's amazing how many, like this skill tree is really big for a top-down shooter. It's impressive. I think I saw one of your colleagues post that this is maybe the only like Amiga top-down shooter that has such an extensive skill tree.
Yeah, well, certainly the only one since the 90s, I guess.
Hey, that's good enough for me.
So we could be wrong on that, but I can't really think of any other top-down shooters for Amiga that have that level of customability. I mean, I suppose Chaos Engine's similar, since you've got different characters and different ways you can upgrade.
I love Chaos Engine too, but you know that's definitely an old game. This is I don't think it's extensive as this. I could be wrong. Okay, so then we have different weapons here. Rapid weapons. So that shoots fast. Is that what it is? This first one here I'm looking at, the first one on the left.
Yeah. So that's just fairly plain. It just shoots. Just shoots projectiles fast, straight ahead. Then you got your spread shot, which is kind of like a shotgun. It fires 3 shots at once. And then finally is the sniper, which is just a single shot in a straight direction, but it does the most damage for a single projectile.
Excellent. Yeah, some of the guys are saying Chaos Engine was great, and I agree. It's one of my all-time favorite Amiga games. But I imagine like back then they had a pretty big team of guys, all things considered, you know, working on that game. How many guys are working on LR City besides yourself?
Yeah, so I'm the only coder.
Wow.
And Zach is the only artist. We have for music, we've had a couple of different contributions. JMD did the main the game music, and another guy named Newly did the like the menu music. But yeah, but other than that, the code is all mine, and the graphics are all Zach. So it is quite a small team.
Yeah.
And I mean, we're both. I mean, we've all got full-time jobs. So this is our
your passion
or
project.
our other commitment. So yeah, so this is this is what we do after hours.
It's amazing. I can't imagine how many hours you put into it. Look, thank you for making a new Amiga game. That's just absolutely incredible. There's going to be many people in the Amiga community who really appreciate this very much. So thank you. This is definitely like a grassroots kind of effort. 2 guys, essentially. It's hard to believe because I'm playing it here, and it doesn't feel like a game that was made by 2 guys plus some musicians. Speaking of JMD, he did the music to the Guru Meditation opening. So shout out to Simone.
Yeah, I did not know that, but yeah, that's really cool. He does a lot of music for a lot of projects.
Yeah, he's great. So fire, we have different elements here: fire, earth, ice, and ether.
Yep.
Okay, so I see. Ability to smash enemies, increase damage, smash enemies, slow down the enemies. This is what you were talking about before. Ability to collect more loot from them.
Yep. So you can assign one of those elements by pushing 1 to 4 on your keyboard. Otherwise, you can if you bring the cursor down to the slot at the bottom, you can equip the weapon and the element that you want to it.
Oh wow, gotcha. So the blue potion heals, I see. So you're looking at the red potion heals 30 hit points, heals 60.
Yep.
Missile adds power to your weapons beyond its current level for plus 50 shots. Okay, so it lasts for 50 shots. So these are like expendables. Cross God freezes all the enemies. Got you. Blaze God power turns your body into unstoppable force of destruction. Oh, that sounds awesome. Love that.
So, some of those are random drops, so if you're lucky, you may see 1 or 2 of those.
Awesome. Yeah, the Saxians are saying that I did a Chaos Engine stream a couple of streams ago in honor of the Tower 57 release, because those guys used it as inspiration for their game. Was there any game that was inspiration for this one?
This one, I guess it's all sort of a mix. So, I guess Chaos Engine would be the obvious influence. But other than that, yeah, it's just sort of a general, just a general top-down shooter.
I love it. Yeah, the artwork and the background artwork definitely has a Chaos Engine feel to it. I just picked up one of the little rockets. How do I equip that sucker?
Yeah. So if you see right down the bottom, you've got that number that's counting down as you shoot. So yeah, that's giving you a weapons upgrade, so it lets you shoot a bit faster while you still have that while you still have ammo for it.
Oh, brilliant! And so right now I have the fire element, correct?
Yep.
And
so if you push, is it the function keys for elements?
Yes.
I can't remember. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's.
Yep. So if you push F2, that will switch to, I think, the green element.
Yes. And the green element knocks them back. Oh, freezes them.
Yep. Sorry, no, the green element
back.
knocks them back.
Yeah, awesome. Get out of here, buddy. And these guys fire back, man. They're no joke. And that's nice because it'll kind of push them out. Oh, it pushes them out of range a little bit. So green knocks them back. Yeah, it's hard when you kill one and they split into the little dudes.
Mm.
I love it. It's difficult.
It does. Yeah, it does take a fair bit to get used to.
Oh, Saxian's saying it looks like there's a bit of Puffy Saga in there. Ms. Mad did a playthrough of that. I haven't played Puffy Saga. I have to check it out. I'm not familiar with that game.
Yeah, I haven't seen that myself. I'll have to look.
Johnny, good night. Have a great one, Johnny. It was a pleasure to have you. Congrats again on Rowan. I can't wait to play the final version of that game. We'll have a special Rowan stream. Okay, we have to have a special Rowan stream when it comes out. Again, enjoy your little bit of downtime, and I'll see you next week. Hopefully, Johnny. I'm gonna stream probably again on next Tuesday, 1 week from today. So have a great one, Johnny. Everyone go check out Amyton TV on YouTube. You can also see a really great interview with Erik, who's with us today, going through a Blitz Basic tutorial with Johnny, who's also a great programmer. So go check that stuff out on Amyton TV. Yeah, everyone's saying this is a really nice, well-polished game.
Huh, cheers.
It feels great. And I know you guys can't actually aren't playing it, so you can't feel it, but the mechanics are awesome, man. It's super smooth. It's incredible.
So, yeah, the game runs at a solid 50 frames a second. Even when there's a lot happening on screen, the sacrifice we did make is that if you're on an unexpanded AGA machine, then sometimes when there's a lot of things happening on screen, the enemies might slow down a bit. But the player and the movement and scrolling, that all remains 50 frames a second all the time.
Nice. Now I'm playing this on an 030 1200 with 16 megs of RAM, and whoa! I just turned into a fireball. This is awesome. Whoa! That was so much fun. Oh my god. I was saying
that you can just run through all the enemies. So yeah, that's one of our god powers that were put in the game.
That was amazing. Yeah, so I was saying I have 2 megs chip and 16 megs fast on this accelerator card, which I'm going to replace soon because, like I said, it's got memory conflict issues with WHD load. So I think I'm going to get to like the 1233N, which should solve the problem, hopefully. But yeah, Erik, the game is super smooth. And I am booting it in PAL display mode because this is natively an NTSC 1200. It's actually it's Pierre's 1200 who's in chat. He's also a very talented artist and a proud member of the Westchester Amiga user group since the late 80s, early 90s. I've known Pierre a long time. Same with Anthony, man. We go way back, Erik, to the late 80s. It's nice how the Amigas, kept us together all these years.
Well, that's really cool. Yeah, I'm actually relatively new to the Amiga scene. It was a few years ago I got my CD32. So I never had an Amiga when I was a kid. I really wanted one. I used to buy Amiga Power magazine.
Oh, it's a classic. Oh, it's so good.
I had this big collection of demo discs. I thought, okay, when I actually get an Amiga, because we had a Commodore 64, I thought, okay, we'll get an Amiga eventually, and then I'll have this big collection of game demos. But that never actually happened. So I ended up giving that to a friend who had an Amiga 500, and because we went to PC instead. So this was around 94 when Doom had just come out. So there was less and less stuff coming up for the Amiga, but yeah, I'm happy to be part of the Amiga community now.
And we're very happy to have you. Yeah, I got what you do and your friends do are incredible. Yeah, I got my first Amiga in '87. It was an Amiga 500, and then in 87 Christmas '87 I got it, and I joined this Amiga user group that met at the store where I bought my Amiga, and it was part of a bigger user group because I live in the suburbs of New York City, so I'm about 30 minutes outside the city. So they had like a special group for the guys who didn't want to like go into the city, and eventually that became our user group, the Westchester Amiga user group. We separated from the bigger group, and that's where I met Anthony, and that's where I met Pierre. And we meet on the first Thursday of every month, like and we never stopped. We've been going since then.
Wow.
There were some lean years, let me tell you, where there were like 4 of us just hanging out. But we didn't care because we became obviously close friends over the years, and the Amiga's, what kept us together. And now there's like so much amazing stuff happening in the Amiga community that we actually have things to do at the meetings again besides just hang out.
Oh, that's really cool. Yeah, there isn't, so far as I know, there isn't anything like that in New Zealand. There is a monthly meetup in Melbourne in Australia that I would love to get to sometime.
Oh, cool. I didn't know that.
But, yeah, there's nothing closer, unfortunately.
Well, I know a few Amiga users in New Zealand. We got Trevor Dickinson, obviously. I don't know if you know Trevor, but yeah, he's the man.
It's odd. I've never met Trevor personally, but the weird thing is my boss knows him, and my boss isn't in the Amiga scene. It's because Trevor does some really great things with angel investing.
Yes.
So he knows him through that.
I think that's his main gig, because obviously making the Amiga 1 is a passion project. An amazing passion project. I can't wait to get my hands on a 1222. But yeah, I think I don't know if he's still in chat, but Art State Digital is originally Polish national, but he lives in New Zealand as well. I'm not sure what part, but I know he's in New Zealand. So maybe all you guys can get together and start a New Zealand Amiga user group. That'd be awesome.
And I still I keep in contact with a lot of the Acid guys. So Mark Sibley, who created Blitz Basic, he lives in Auckland, as does just outside of Auckland, there's Simon Armstrong, who's also from Acid, as well as nearby is Chris Blackburn, who made the Skid Marks games.
Oh wow. So you guys have a lot going on there. You need to unite and hang out. That's awesome. Yeah, I know in Australia, my friend Citrix lives in Melbourne. He's an amazing Amiga musician. He did a whole album called A for Amiga, and he does tons of chiptune stuff. And he did the music for my friend Zach's film Viva Amiga. Well, not all of it, but he did a few tracks for it, and he's in the movie. He's a great guy, and I don't know if he hosts a party or he goes to a big Amiga party every year, which that might be the one you're talking about too. It doesn't happen every month though. It's more of a special one. Sorry, I gotta check up on the chat. I'm so into the game, Eric. I'm totally slacking off here. Oh god, sorry. You had the C128D. A few guys had the 128. Oh, nice. Everyone's throwing down like when they got their first machine. Mayhem maybe got his Amiga 500 the same year I did, and we both bought it from the same store as well. That's how we met. Saxion got his in '87 as well. He also loves the Commodore 64, as do I, and I'm sure most people here in chat do. 5-Card Draw got an Amiga 600 in '93. And he used a C128 before that. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Anthony and I have become pretty good friends with Bill Hurd, who was a designer on the 128, because Commodore headquarters isn't too far from where we live, and we have the great Vintage Computer Festival East every year in Wall Township, New Jersey, and a lot of the guys come in for that, and Bill's one of them. New Jersey's kind of like between Pennsylvania, where Commodore was, and between New York City. Cool. Yeah, everyone's throwing down like their early Commodore machines. I love it. I never had a 128. I had a 64C, a regular bread bin 64, and the Amiga 500. Art State says Erik lives 30 minutes away from you. So you and Art State live about 30 minutes away from each other. He's a great dude, man. You guys, I'm sure would hit it off real well. Kellogg had a VIC-20, a C64, a 500, a 2000, a 1000, a 1200. I just got my first Amiga 1000. Anthony gave me a little gift. He gave me a little early Christmas gift, the Amiga 1000, which is amazing. I've always wanted a 1000. I never had it. He's in Wellington. Nice. Roy got his beloved 1200 in early 1993. It's interesting because, like you were saying, like 93, 94 is when, not that my interest in Amiga ever, died out, but obviously, I went to college in 1993. And I guess that was a big turning point for me because I brought, like, it was either a 386 or a 46. I brought that to college with me, and I left my Amiga at home, mainly because I didn't really care about the PC. So I'm like, you know what? I'll leave this in my dorm. If anyone messes with it, I don't care. But I got to protect my Amiga, so I left my Amiga back at my parents' house. But like you said, Doom was starting to come out for PC. And, it was the part, Commodore folded in 94, and it was just kind of the part when Amiga started to, not be as innovative as it used to be, and the end was near, unfortunately. Well, it wasn't the end, but here we are in 2017 playing your new Amiga game, so certainly there was no end. Oh, nice. Pierre got his first Amiga in 89 and the 1200 as soon as it came out. Excellent. Oh, the Amiga was Pierre's first computer. Right on. Oh, Scene Cat is saying that he's telling you that Syntax Party was recently an Aussie demo scene party, just like the Flashback Party. Oh, Syntax Party, that's the one that Citrix goes to. And I'm sure he performs there as well. That's the one. Good call, Scene Cat. Nice moves. Kellogg says you have some mad coding skills. How many years did it take to get this good? That's a great question, Kellogg.
It's kind of it is a bit of an open question. So how I got my start is with developing games is I started by using a tool called Click and Play, which is actually ironically enough, like, it was a Windows tool, but it was made by I don't know how to pronounce his name, Francis Lynette.
Oh, Francois Lionnet.
Francois Lionnet, yes. So he made he made Amos, and then after that he made Click and Play for Windows, and that's when I started getting into game development. So I was like 12 or something at the time, and so I started just making little crappy games with Click and Play, and then from there, a few years later, I got into Blitz Basic for PC, Blitz Basic 3D, and I did a few projects in that, and then when I got into the Amiga space, I don't know when I really started with hacking. I just, one day I just wanted to make a couple of changes in games, so I learned how to like locate variables that do certain things and make some tweaks. But for coding Amiga games like this, since I was already familiar with Blitz Basic for PC, I was able to reuse my knowledge of the syntax and things to get into Blitz Basic for Amiga.
So the hacking was like a gateway to designing games from the ground up.
Yeah, so it's kind of so I've kind of gone full circle, because I started with the later version of Blitz Basic, the Blitz Basic PC, and then went through several different versions of that, and then I went way back to the original on Amiga.
So you went forward and then came back.
Yes, exactly.
Excellent. I'm glad you did. Pierre is saying he hopes he's not bringing in rules. Pierre, the only rule here is to have fun. So I always promote my friends. He's saying that the 8-Bit guy on YouTube posted a great documentary about a Commodore 64 game he just completed and is selling. Very interesting episode. Yeah, I think our other friend Modern Vintage Gamer, who's another Amiga YouTuber, actually did a review of it as well. I'll have to get my hands on that one. I want to do some Commodore 64 streams as well. I'm just trying to catch up on the chat. Sorry, I don't want to. I'm way behind. Oh man, yeah. 5-card draw saying a feeling you don't get when turning on the PC. Like, turning on a PC feels the same as turning on like a water cooker, or a piece of an appliance. But turning on the Amiga is magical, and for me, like, it keeps that magic. Like, every time I sit down at the Amiga and I turn it on and I see Workbench, I get chills down my spine. I mean, it sounds funny, but there is something that I can't put my hands on that's really special about the Amiga. And obviously it must be for you too, because you're someone who wasn't involved in Amiga, when it was popular, but yet you found, you were attracted to it, and you decided you wanted to work on this platform. So like, what was it about Amiga that attracted you to it? You know, after it's already past its prime.
I mean, I grew up wanting an Amiga because that seemed to be the logical upgrade from the Commodore 64, and yeah, even though I never ended up getting one, I was still interested in it, and because there were a lot of games for it that I wanted to play, but never never had the opportunity. Like, Project X was one of them because I'd see screenshots of that in Amiga Power and think, wow, that looks the graphics on this are amazing. So because it's an entire generation of games that I missed out on. So I guess I just had to come back and actually try all these things I'd only read about. And yeah, I've just been into this ever since.
It's interesting too. Like for me, there's just a lot of elements to it. Obviously, the nostalgia factor is big for me because I did use it when it was popular. But like what you said, like how things that you never had back then, you can now have, and it goes like that for me as well. Like with hardware, I mean, I never had an Amiga 1200 back in the day, and I wanted one really bad. The best one I had was a 2000. I had a 500 and a 2000. So and now I'm lucky enough I can have a 1200, or one day I'm gonna get a video toaster. It's still a dream of mine. Anthony's got one, and you can now relive, not relive the past, but you can now have things that you always wanted that you could never have before back then, and that's pretty neat. Was the Amiga community a part of your decision? Like, did you know anything about the Amiga community before you started doing this, or did you just kind of meet everyone once you started working on Amiga projects?
So the first thing, when I decided I wanted to get into this, I went on to Trade Me, which is sort of like our version of eBay, and just found a secondhand CD32 there. So okay, I'll start. So it came with a bunch of copied games. I thought, okay, well, what else is there out there that I could just download and burn onto disk? And I was really surprised. I went on the Pirate Bay and I found there were these huge compilations of games, but I found that they didn't always have the games that I wanted, or some of the games they had, they either didn't work, or they'd been patched recently to have beta support for the CD32 pad. So I sort of got interested in doing my own compilations and such, and from there I joined up the English Amiga board to talk about the things that I was doing, and just while after that I met Neil, who runs Indie Retro News.
Oh yeah, awesome.
And moderates the Commodore Amiga Facebook group, and so I joined that community as well.
Indie Retro News is great. Give them a shout out. They, I find out a lot about your stuff through Indie Retro News, as well as other cool Amiga projects and retro projects that are happening. So, big shout out to Neil and Indie Retro News and the Commodore Amiga Facebook group. It's really amazing. There's so many knowledgeable people in there. Like they're like, people look at me, they're like, wow, you're like an Amiga genius. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm not even close. Like, you should see the guys in the Amiga Facebook group or on English Amiga board or amiga.org. Those guys are the geniuses, not me. But
it's absolutely amazing what some of the people do with their hardware mods and the things that they're working on.
It really is. And I mean, the other thing that I'm hearing it too is, I think if the games weren't good, you wouldn't be motivated to do this. I think a lot of these games are great games and they hold up. They stand the test of times. Now some don't, but I think a lot of them do. And I think if they weren't great games, people like you wouldn't be so inclined to put so much time and effort into remastering them.
Absolutely. And I mean, some of the time, like with Project X, it was only really a couple of little things that I really wanted to change. It wasn't like I wanted to rewrite the game from scratch or anything.
Yeah, but still, just you took the initiative to do it, and it's still time. And I mean, look at your body of work. I'm sure there are there's a lot of hours in that body of work.
Sorry, just do you want to buy some upgrades quickly before because you've got a bit of money and orbs at the moment, so it's probably a good idea to upgrade your character a bit.
Oh, great, let's do that. Yo, hey, what's up, Proxy Buster? Your wife says hi. What's up? What's up, Mrs. Proxy? Once we're gonna upgrade our skills here, let me just say hi to some people in the chat. Oh yeah, Blood Money was another great one with great music. That's a classic. We've played that one here as well. 5-card would still use Commodore if they existed. Mayhem Maybe says Amiga was the first computer you often turned on to use the Amiga. Like you just turned it on to turn it on. C64 was like a console. You turned it on to use a program, then another program, and then you rebooted Amiga, and you often just turned it on just to tweak Workbench. I did a lot of Workbench tweaking myself. Oh man, Saxion, that's hilarious. You're awesome, dude. I think Saxion is one of the guys who's making new hardware as well. I mean, he makes it for the Commodore 64, right? He makes the side 2. If I'm not mistaken, Saxion, the future was 8-bit. I think I have my facts straight there. If you want to, give a shout out and promote your stuff, go for it, man. Christmas is coming, man, and us retro folks gotta eat. Yeah, Toa Folkman loving the Amiga command. Yeah, what's up, Joe Ski Rock, founding father of the Amiga sub club and brand new grandfather. Congratulations, Joe. Joe's daughter just had a beautiful baby, and huge congratulations to you, Joe. That is just awesome. Yes, and Saxion said yes, the SD2 IEC. I have to get one of those, Saxion, because I think that will motivate me to get my Commodore 64 cooking again. You've got a YouTube channel as well. Throw it in the chat, buddy. Oh yeah, got you, Anthony. Yeah, the 64, you could always do one thing, but the Amiga just expanded the horizons because you had a hard drive. You had the power to hit the OS under everything else, and the hard drives to hold it all. Very, very true. Very true. All right, so let's upgrade our character. And I'll tell you what, Eric, we'll upgrade the character. We'll play for a little bit more, and then I gotta wrap things up because I have to prepare for my job tomorrow. I have a little meeting I have to have, and then I have to get my equipment ready. So we'll upgrade the character, play for a minute more, and then I can switch over to PC, and we can show folks like how to pre-order the game and go over all the business details. How's that sound?
Yep, yeah, that sounds perfect.
Cool. So, what should I upgrade here? I have 15 upgrade points, right?
Yep. So, speed's probably a good one to get.
Okay, so speed is these guys here. Does it tell you how much they cost? Okay, it says it looks like they cost 5.
Yes, yes, that's right. So, the cost for any upgrade is always in the top left.
Got you. And then upper right is showing I'm level 2. Is that right?
Yep. So you've so that's basically your character's experience level.
Excellent. All right.
So yep. So you can upgrade. Speed's a good one to upgrade at least once. Health may as well.
Perfect. I still got five elements left.
Yep. I guess. Can you afford armor, or is that
Let's see. It says it's 5. Yeah, I have 5 left, so it's perfect. I can.
Oh, yep. Okay, so that give you a bit more resistance. Now you can spend your coins as well. I recommend spending, since you're using sniper rifle, if you spend it on that, it will increase your firing rate.
Oh, excellent. Sweet. Oh, nice. I see the red button under it. That's awesome. Sniper rifle is really nice. I like it a lot. I like them all though. This rapid weapon is very, very cool as well. Spread's cool. You can feel the effect of less damage, but I think when there's a lot of enemies on the screen, it'll probably help a lot because those guys get hairy.
I think the spread shot's probably my favorite. Because you can, like, for one thing, like when you've got lots of enemies from far away, because it's spread, you can sort of just fire and you'll hit most of them. But also, if you're really close to enemies, all 3 shots will hit that one enemy. So it's it's quite lethal both at long range and close range.
That's awesome. That's a lot of power right there when you hit him with multiple shots. So that's a lot of power in a certain way. I'm just gonna upgrade them all. Oh, okay. I don't have enough coins for that. Now I noticed that the price for some of these upgrades has gone up. So it started out at 5 coins, which I purchased them for, and now, like for example, the speed upgrade's 25 coins.
Yeah. So the upgrades do ramp in price as you upgrade them. But also, as you play the game, the amount of XP orbs you get from level upgrade increases as well.
Oh, gotcha.
So the longer you play, the more high level upgrades you'll be able to afford.
Excellent. Yeah, Mayhem says, "Spread fire spreads the mayhem." Oh man, yeah. There's so much cool stuff coming out. There's cool stuff coming out for the 64 as well. So Saxion says he might have some Amiga hardware coming out too. We'll see. We'll stay tuned. Stay tuned to the future of his 8-bit. Yo, Air Jury. Good night, my friends. Sleep well. Thanks so much for joining. It's always a pleasure to have you. Thanks for joining as always, and thanks for all the support, Jury. I can't wait to play one of your games on stream. I can't wait. All right, let's get back into it here, Eric. Oh wow, yeah. Oh, this thing is a killer. So right now we're in the survival arcade mode. Well, are those eyes attacking me? Is the enemy's gone invisible?
Sorry, my stream is a little bit behind, but yeah, there are predator enemies where you can only see the eyes.
That's scary. Oh, this weapon upgrade is great. So we're playing the arcade survival mode now. It reminds me of like Robotron. It's great. What is the story mode about? How's that gonna work?
Well, we're still finalizing it. Like, so all of the development on the project up until this point has been sort of the core gameplay, the enemies, the oh, actually you did quite well that time. It's quite a lot further than your previous play. So you do get better and better at it. Yeah, so story mode, the design isn't quite set in stone. We're either going to have some sort of like a Zelda type overworld, or a linear level structure, sort of like I guess like like Chaos Engine, but yeah, so not set in stone, but over the next month or so we should have some more concrete announcement.
Cool. I'm looking forward to it. This game is very, very addictive. It's super fun, and it's also it's my kind of game. I love the top down shooter. Like I said, I love Robotron. I love that new one, Next Mina, and this is just so cool. There's a game of this quality coming out on the Amiga. It's addictive. Like, I'm falling behind on chat because I'm trying to read chat. I'm trying to talk to you somewhat intelligently and play the game, and the game is just like sucking me in. Oh man, what's going on over here? There we go. All right, so let me just switch over to my PC here, Eric. I want to show people like where they can go to support you guys, all two of you. That's amazing. So I'm over here in Pixel Glass Games. So it's the homepage would be pixelglass.org. And I think Reimagine is basically the branch of Pixel Glass that does all the remasters. Is that correct? And Pixel Glass are the original games.
Yeah. So we are treating them as entirely distinct brands, but we're just using the same website for both of them at the moment.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah, because obviously the Reimagine's just a fan label. Everything we do on that is just completely free, completely unofficial, just for fun.
Sure.
Whereas Pixel Glass itself is our commercial titles. So yeah, so Elicity's one. We actually have at least one other that's we're keeping a little bit quiet about it at the moment, but we'll let you know as soon as we've got anything that we can show.
Cool. That is awesome. Yeah, you're probably better off just finishing off LR City, before moving on to the next one.
Oh, sorry, to be clear, the other game has a different programmer on it.
Oh, sorry. Say that again. I was reading the chat. Who has a different programmer?
Oh, so Alex Brown, I think his name is yeah, so Alex Brown, who's done some really good games like actually I'm not really sure how much I should be talking about this, but so Alex Brown's done some really good Amiga games like Blocky Skies.
Great game.
And he's working on a Pixel Glass project, which I'm not directly involved in myself, but that so there'll be another game released by the brand.
That's cool. Now you don't spill the beans too much, but it's good to know that there's a lot of stuff cooking over here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's nice that you do have there's more than just two of you, because it makes you guys that much stronger. It makes the brand that much stronger.
Yeah.
It's great.
Well, we're like the projects are separated, but I mean we play test each other's work and things like that.
So I'm looking here. You can pre-order a copy of All Our City from amiga.net.pl. I know them. They're awesome. They also sell Krzysztof Radikowski's book, the Amiga OS4 book. That's a great spot. So it looks like you can donate right here on pixelglass.org. But or do you suggest doing that? Is that just for a donation? If you want to actually pre-order, you go to Amiga.net?
Sure, a donation is just literally a donation if you want to support our group and what we do. But if you want to purchase a game, it has to be through amiga.net.pl.
Okay, we're here at amiga.net.pl. It's a Polish website,
Yep.
.pl. I see 5-card draw. Is it on CD? Is it for CD32? All great questions. Eric, do you want to run down all the different versions of this game? I see there's a lot of them here.
Yep. So this is a game for any AGA Amiga. That includes a CD32. In fact, I'll bring up where are we? I see. Yeah, I have actually had so because I've had a real because I have a real CD32. It's what I use for the live hardware testing of the game, and what I'm going to post in the chat is some links to when I had the game at the Armageddon Expo. So Armageddon is like a Comic Con, but in New Zealand.
Oh, cool.
So this so that's one. So the photo I posted, that's one guy playing it. You can see the real CD32 on the table next to the TV.
Let's see. I wonder if I can get that link. I'm going to try something here, Eric. I'm going to try and open up. This is going to get crazy because everyone's going to see it. But I'm going to try and open that link on my PC so we can see what you're talking about. There I am, streaming retro. All right, let's go to my channel. Make sure I'm muted here, otherwise we'll get crazy echo. Eric, you throw it down again because I need to refresh.
Oh, okay, yep.
Okay, there it is, perfect. Wow, there's two of me. That's crazy. All right, let's get out of here. Let's click on that. Perfect. Oh yeah. Okay. So what? Now we can see the photo. What is this photo of again? This is the New Zealand Comic Con.
Yeah. So that's the Armageddon Expo, which is it's a pop culture thing. So it's basically like a Comic Con type thing, but in New Zealand. And so that's one random guy at the event playing the game. So the table was sponsored by the New Zealand Game Developers Association, and we were the only ones there with the game on a retro console, and we were sort of there next to people with modern Unity games running on PC, and this guy had a game on PS Vita, But yeah, it was. Oh, and just down the hallway they had Nintendo Switch with Super Mario Odyssey, and around the next room over they had Call of Duty World War Two and
Wow.
Assassin's Creed Origins. So it was actually yeah, it was quite neat, sort of representing the retro scene at the stand.
Yeah, some big company to be standing toe to toe with there. Some nice company to be in. I see the CD32 right down here. That's awesome. Is that your CD32?
Yeah, yeah, just right in the corner, just on that table there in the background.
Perfect. It's so awesome that there's actually an Amiga, at this event, like right next to the Nintendo Switch and the PCs. That's incredible.
Yeah. Oh no, those two kids in the background. They're playing someone brought along a SNES Classic Mini.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So that got a lot of people playing like Street Fighter on that.
The SNES Classic looks really cool. That's a good stocking stuffer as well. Yeah, Anthony's saying it's nice to see Amiga represented there. Anthony and I guarantee you we'll be playing LR City at Vintage Computer Festival East, which is the Vintage Computer Expo that we have a booth at every year. So not quite the same as having it there going toe to toe with Nintendo and the PC boys, but I'm sure it'll be a big hit. Amiga always steals the show at all the retro events. Time Gal was a huge hit at the last one. Everyone, like I said, they were glued to it, and they were all playing it on Anthony's real CD32. So I know he'll be bringing it this time as well. Hopefully by then I'll have a real CD32 as well. That's the next system I want in my Amiga quiver, especially since you're doing all these great releases for it, and Amiga J's got those epic releases as well. Like there's so much cool stuff going on in the CD32 community that I want one. It's cool. Like I can do it on the emulator. It's great, but I would be really neat to have a real one. So let's go back to Amiga.net.pl. There are a lot of versions of the game. The silver digital version. Let's see what else we got there. We got the silver digital, silver Amiga CD, silver Amiga CD and box, and then you got the gold edition, which is I guess a step up from the silver edition. I think the gold edition does it come with more stuff? It's a collector's edition, limited quantity. Yeah. Oh, why don't you explain it?
We so we haven't quite so it is we haven't quite nailed down the final content. It may come in the form of like extra levels or like CD music on the disc, but yeah, we will have some announcements when that's more when we've finalized what we're doing there.
Cool. And the expected delivery date is somewhere like second quarter 2018, you were saying?
Yeah. So obviously we don't want this to drag on forever, but at the same time we don't want to release something that isn't quite finished or isn't quite as good as we could have made it. So we yes, so we're aiming for second quarter 2018. Shouldn't be much longer than that.
It's no worries, like I'm a patient guy, and I know some people aren't as patient, but I appreciate you guys like taking the time to get it right. But I also know that it's basically a two-man operation. So it's like sometimes your heart's in the right place and you're doing everything you can to get the job done. And like you said, it's a side fun project. So I know things like making a physical release and making just like the box. I know because I do a lot of like independent documentary work, and that's always it's always a really difficult part of the process, actually. Like releasing on digital is, it's one thing, but making a physical copy just takes it to a whole nother level of complexity for, the people who are making it. So I think it's worth it because there's nothing like having a box with a CD or a floppy disk up on your shelf. Like that's the ultimate, and I think it's worth the extra effort and the extra time. So I really appreciate that you guys are doing that. And if it takes a little bit longer, it's no biggie in my opinion, but I know some people can get a little impatient.
Well, the physical stuff is mostly being handled by the Amiga.net.pl guys. I've ordered some stuff from them myself, like a mate of mine made Lumberjack Reloaded, and
which I see right here, and it's a great game. It's a great game. We this is great. I'm gonna do some Christmas shopping here. We got Lumberjack Reloaded, LR City, Solid Gold, which I don't know, and Tank's Fury. These are all great games. Like Lumberjack Reloaded is a great party game. It's an amazing party game. We played it at Ami Party in Poland, and it was a great experience. We had a Lumberjack Reloaded tournament, and it'd be really cool to have a physical copy of it, because I've got a digital copy. But like when you have a physical copy, it feels real. You know what I'm saying? It feels real.
Absolutely. I had a mate around playing it who it just happens to be a really big Monty Python fan.
I'm a lumberjack, and that's okay.
Yes, exactly.
The cross-dressing lumberjack.
Yeah, exactly. Because it has sort of that theme tune, and you're picking lingerie off the tree. Yeah, it's a nice game. It's Solid Gold is one you really need to play. It's so it's a platform game, and it was released as freeware, but people really like the game and said we would love a physical copy as well. So even though he'd only ever intended for it to be free, they've also released different boxed versions of it.
Cool. Yeah, like I said, there's nothing like having a boxed version, especially I love. I can't remember which one it was I got recently, but it came on a floppy disk, and that's just the coolest thing ever. Like that I bought a game that came on a floppy disk, a new game that came on a floppy disk. That's just so cool. So once again, just for anyone who might just be tuning in now, what would be the system requirements for LR City?
So it will run on any AGA machine. So CD32, A1200, A4000. Fast RAM is not a requirement, but I guess you'll get faster loading times. The enemy animation will be a bit smoother if you've got fast RAM, but it's not a requirement at all. In fact, I play it on a CD32 that doesn't have any fast RAM.
Mm-hmm.
So if you've got an AGA machine, you'll be able to run it.
Well, the other thing that's pretty cool is if you're lucky enough to have a real AGA machine, you can have a brand new game for your Amiga, but you can also run it through emulation, obviously. So even if you don't have an Amiga, you can still play the game and enjoy it, but through FSUAE or Amiga Forever or WinUAE, and that's pretty rad. So it's like just don't get discouraged just because you don't have a real Amiga. If you don't have one, you can still play LR City and Lumberjack Reloaded. I'm gonna do a binge shopping cart spree here on Amiga. I see they also have some great books. There's Christoph's book, Amiga OS4 Every Day. I love it. So this is a great website. And an Amos book. There we go. You want a Blitz Basic book. So you want to learn some Blitz Basic. And Blitz Basic is what you use to do LR City. Is that correct?
For the most part, yeah. Some of it I've started porting to assembly language, just because you can squeeze a little bit more performance out with assembly. But yeah, the most part it's in Blitz. Timegale was entirely Blitz Basic. The intro sequence, just the intro sequence to Giant REC was in Blitz Basic. Though the main game is obviously still assembly language.
Cool. Thanks, ArtState. I'm glad you're enjoying the format of the show. There's nothing like having a guest on, man. It's the ultimate. It's the best. Especially someone who's as awesome as Erik. Thanks for the kind words, DC. I appreciate it. 5-card draw. I'm not drinking from a vase. I'm drinking from a mason jar. Yeah, it's a mason jar. I put a rubber band on it so I can differentiate it from my wife's mason jar. So we don't cross the streams. I'm behind on follows. I know I saw a couple of follows today when you were talking, and I forgot to say thank you to them. But a huge thank you to Snow Dog, who just followed. I wonder. Well, we got 3 files today. We're at 495, which is pretty awesome for like a live Amiga stream show, because people usually only follow like when you're live. It's not exclusively, but that's when you get the most follows. And I only stream like once a week at the most. Because I have a job. But a lot of the pro streamers who stream every day, that's how they get all their followers and all their subscribers. So the fact that like we're knocking on the door at 500 is pretty amazing. Yo, what's up, Snow Dog? Meanwhile, an angry and furious wife device demolishes the translation due to late husband device. Exactly. I think that about wraps it up, Eric. That was amazing, man. Thank you so much for coming on. Oh, one more thing I want to mention. We were talking about Amos and Francois Lyonnais. He's also one of the guys who is working on the project with the friends chat that we're using today to communicate with each other. So I'm not sure his exact role in the friend chat. I think maybe they started. I know they started developing before he jumped on board, but he's a key player in friend chat now. So he's an amazing guy. He's accomplished a lot.
There's just one last thing I wanted to chat about, if that's all right.
Go for it. Absolutely.
Yep. I think it was Wayne Ashworth mentioned earlier about the colors in the game. So because it's AGA, we can some parts of it, like menu systems, some of it's full 256 colors, some of it's 128 colors. The main game is using AGA dual playfield, so we use 16 colors for the background tile set, 16 colors for the enemies. So the blobby enemies have their own 16 color palette, and then the player. The player is a sprite and is a hardware sprite. All of the shots are hardware sprites, and so that's another 16 colors altogether. So the main game is 48 colors, and then underneath the main game with the UI, that's on a different copper list. So I believe that is, from memory, that's 64 colors. Also, when we're in the shop, that whole thing is 64 colors.
Well, it looks great, and it plays really smooth. That's the one thing with playing modern games. That they're so smooth, and sometimes when you go back and play a retro game, you really miss that smoothness. But LR City is smooth as butter. It's awesome.
So we did. So with that, we've got the player movement updating on the vertical blank. So every time the screen refreshes, it immediately says, "Okay, stop everything else, update the player, update the scrolling, and then go back to what you're doing before." So what it means is that if you've got a slower AGA machine, like if you've got a CD32 or an A1200 that you haven't put any fast RAM in, it means that even when there's a lot happening on screen, the main game, the movement and scrolling, that all stays smooth 50 frames a second.
It works like a charm. It works like butter. That's really cool. That's really cool, Eric. Wow. Well, if there's anything else you have that you want to add that you haven't said, I mean, this has been like an Erik retrospective here. I wasn't quite expecting that, and it's just been awesome, man. Thank you so much for your time today.
Oh, cheers. I've really enjoyed it. I'm happy to answer any last questions if there's time.
Sure. If anyone has any more questions, feel free to throw them in the chat. We had a great stream today. We had a special guest, Erik Hogan, also known as Erik. He and his team have got a great new game coming out called LR City. You can pick it up, pre-order it at amiga.net.pl. And you can also go to what was it, Pixel Glass? Let me get the right URL. I think it is. The Pixel Glass games.
Yep. Shall I post it in the chat or?
Sure.
Oh, actually, there was one other question that I missed, which was about the CD32. So this was from Five Card Drawer. So he was asking if there were any CD32 exclusive games, or games that are only released on the CD32 instead of the A1200. There's only a couple that I can think of. One was Microcosm, which was never released officially for the Amiga 1200.
Mm.
I think a Flink was another one. Is it? Yeah. So Flink was another one for CD32 that they never released on the A1200. There were a couple of games that were released first on the CD32 and then they ported to A1200. I think the original version of Guardian
Mm.
was CD32, and it has CD music, and so I'm not sure what they did when they went to floppy disks. If they used tracking music or they just took the music out, I'm not sure.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Eric. Thanks, Mayhem. I wish I wish you were here. I was planning on doing something with Eric over on Guru Meditation as well, and we can certainly do that. When LR City comes out, Eric, if you want to do something together with me and Anthony, it's always more fun. It's always more fun when Anthony's here because he's the on-screen talent. He's the funny one of the two. So yeah, we just want to give you guys as much exposure and as much support as possible. So maybe I'll end up
Thank you.
yeah, I can also just put this video up on Guru Meditation as well, just as an archive. I want to try and get you guys as much exposure, as much help as possible, because it's supporting people who make new Amiga games and new Amiga hardware in 2017 is really important. Like I saw someone in chat before say it's like a new golden age of Amiga and a new golden age of retro. There's so many cool projects that are happening, and I just want to support them as much as possible with my own money, and then and giving them as much publicity as possible, because I think what you guys do is amazing, and we're all very lucky to have you.
Oh, cheers. And yeah, thank you. We really appreciate the support. But yeah, there is a bit of a renaissance. Because it had been something like 20 years without any new CD32 games, and then I think it was last year Reshoot came out, and I think Project Leela was another one.
Oh, Reshoot was great. I think they have a new one coming out, Reshoot R as well.
Yeah, that's it's looking really nice.
Yeah, I don't know Layla. I must have missed that one.
Oh, so I actually did a little bit of work on that myself. I did the level select menu, and yeah, it doesn't seem to have had a lot of exposure. So that was by Patrick Nevian.
Oh, I've heard his name. Yeah, I've heard his name.
Yeah, he makes he's probably more famous for the Tales of Gorloth games.
Oh, that's where I heard of him. And I think he's got a new one coming out, right? A new Tales, right?
Yeah,
that looks
Heroes
awesome.
of Gorloth or something. But anyway, so Project Leela was so that was released under the for that well, it was released as like a tie-in for the Indigo console, the the Raspberry Pi based machine that plays CD-ROM games like CD32 games, and I think it like runs PlayStation 1 games and such.
Right.
But this Project Leela will run on a vanilla CD32.
I'll have to find it.
Yeah, actually I'll look. I'll find something for. I'll find a link. So I'm not sure why it hasn't had as much exposure. I guess maybe because it was designed for the because it's a tie-in with the Indigo console.
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of a Mega Man clone. So yeah, the video I just posted in the link is just a it's I guess it's a short gameplay video. It shows you what it's like.
Oh, let's check it out. I'll go back.
Has some very nice graphics and music. Just the one problem with the game is the game is built on the Backbone engine.
Mm-hmm.
So you really need so it doesn't run that smooth unless you've got a like a 6830 and fast RAM, but it's still perfectly playable on like a CD32.
It's processor heavy.
Yeah.
Let's check it out. Let's see. I clicked on the wrong link. I just subscribed to the Guru Meditation. Woo! All right, let's try it again. Oh, this is pretty long. We won't play the whole thing, but we'll check it out. I don't have 13 minutes left, unfortunately.
Yep. So I'm not sure if there's any digital copies. I think you have to buy the disc.
What? Hey, that's interesting. It's probably not the best marketing, but it's cool. Like no digital available. You have to go physical or nothing. Physical or broke. Awkward Aardvark is saying he thinks Prey and Alien Encounter was the CD32 exclusive as well.
Yep, that does sound right. I'm just going to post the link to where you can actually buy Project Lila if you're interested. But yeah, in the video will show a little bit of what it's like. It's not a terribly long game, but it is quite cool. It has a nice boss fight at the end.
It's got some cool music too. I think I've seen Blue Metal Rose on Destrita before.
Yeah, so as I understand it, Patrick is also a musician, and so his games have amazing music.
Oh, is he in Blue Metal Rose?
Pretty sure he is, yeah.
Cool. Oh, wow, I love the artwork. It's awesome.
Yeah, in fact, that's Blue Metal Rose is Patrick's Twitter handle. So yes, he is Blue Metal Rose.
Oh, I'll have to follow him. That's awesome. And I'm really interested in the new Tales game as well. Or I don't know if it's called Tales, but the Golruth one.
Yeah, I think it's called Heroes of Gorloth, and might be a platformer. But so this level is sort of like a side-scrolling shoot 'em up. The other levels in the game are more like a Mega Man platformer style game.
Cool. And I'm sorry to just refresh my memory again. What was your role in this game?
Oh, just the level select.
Level select. Gotcha.
Yeah. So basically, the game it's basically several different Backbone projects put together. And so what the level select does is it just chooses which one you want to start from.
Cool. This looks awesome. I got to I'll click the link. It's on Visalia. Oh, Visalia, I've seen them before. That's another great store. Yep. I think I've definitely I know I've seen them before. I think I've purchased from them before. That's great. Cool. That is awesome, Eric. It looks great. And I'll try and let me know if any of your other friends have game projects that they want to promote. I would love to have them on. If they don't want to come on, then I'll just play the game anyway. It's fine. Not everyone wants to be interviewed. I understand. It's not easy. It's not easy at all. It's very strange for me doing this too, because I'm really a behind the scenes guy. I'm I'm a camera guy and photographer, and so when I decided to make the YouTube channel with Anthony and do these streams, it was like a big departure, and it was pretty scary to be honest. But I've gotten better at it, and like I said, it's like hanging out with good friends. So everyone's been super nice, and I've met so many cool people doing these that it's been well worth it, to say the least. All right. Well, I guess that wraps it up, Eric. If anyone else has any last minute questions, I gotta wrap things up too. I gotta get ready for my gig. Yeah, wife device will be coming home in a little while as well, which means I won't be able to get much accomplished. If there's any more questions, feel free to fire away. Or of course, you can always. What I'll do is I'll post this video. Let me use the new command. I'll go !archive. I will archive this stream on that YouTube channel right there, the AmigaBill YouTube channel. Oh, hey, I'm on it right now. I can show you. I can show you. Let's see, my channel. I made this YouTube channel just to archive the Twitch streams because Twitch lasts. It saves the games for like a month or two. I mean, it saves the streams for like a month or two, and then it disappears. So I made this YouTube channel just to archive the streams because, well, you know, one that's really good like this. I want to. I want to keep it forever. I'm sure people will enjoy this, you know, in time to come for sure. Hitch, you did miss it. I'm sorry, Hitch, but you can take advantage of the VOD. You can check it on Twitch, or if after I think 24 hours, I'm allowed to post it to this Facebook. I mean, to this YouTube channel. But it's better to watch it on Twitch It's better to watch it on Twitch while it lasts. Get it while it lasts because you can see the chat better. But eventually I'll post it onto this YouTube account as well. Does wife Ugh George, what's up, buddy? Does wife beat me with a slipper when I'm naughty? Oh yeah. Mayhem, good night, buddy. Take care. Eric, thank you so much for joining me today. That was one of my favorite streams, and I know everyone in chat really enjoyed it as well. I learned a lot. I got to play a great new game, Alar City. Well, the demo version of a great new game, and that was a blast. Any departing words, Eric?
Sorry, no, not that I can think of.
Okay, well, you know, congratulations on the game. Please keep me posted on the progress. I'm gonna go to Amiga.net right now and order it, as well as Lumberjack and the other ones that were on there. It'll be a good Christmas, to say the least. So definitely keep me updated, and I'll keep all the viewers updated as well on the progress. And then when the game's finally released, I would love to have you on again, and you know, we'll do something on Guru Meditation with Anthony as well.
Yep, sounds good.
Awesome. All right, well, everyone, thanks for hanging out. Eric, thank you so much for joining us today and taking the time to do this. It was an absolute blast. I hope the sound was all right. I'm using a new system here. I'll have to go back and watch the stream myself and critique my technique. Let's see. I'm gonna take a quick peek and see who else is streaming right now. Maybe we'll give them a little bit of raid or a host. But Eric, thanks for everything, man. You have a great day, and I'll see you. Where can the folks contact you, Eric?
Well, I'm easy to find on Facebook if someone wants to get in touch directly. So I'll just put my name in the chat. Also
on English Amiga board, right?
So I'm on English Amiga board under Erik. So you could send me a private message there, or just put my email address in the comments.
Perfect. Yeah, everyone's psyched about the stream, man. Pierre, you're welcome. I'll see you next Thursday, my friend, at Westchester Amiga User Group meeting. Pierre, check out my new command. Check out !WOG. Boom. I know you like that one. Ugh George, take care, buddy. Erik, again, Eric, thank you so much for all your hard work. Thanks so much for coming on the stream today. After the stream's over, I guess we'll give Cats on Your Head a little host. She's a huge Amiga fan as well, and she broadcasts with a stuffed animal of a cat on her head, so she doesn't lie when she says her name's Cats on the Head. I'm not sure what she's playing today, but we'll see. And that wraps up the stream today, guys. Eric, thank you so much.
Yep, no worries. And yeah, thanks for having me.
Oh, my pleasure, my pleasure. And guys, if you want to keep up with my stream, please follow me here. It's twitch.tv/AmigaBill. You can follow me on Twitter if you want to know like when I'm gonna go live. I usually post like 24 hours in advance on Twitter. I'm at the Guru Meditate. On YouTube, I am the Guru Meditation with my buddy Anthony, also known as Mayhem Maybe. Go check us out. We have an Amiga YouTube channel over there. I archive all these Twitch streams over on YouTube as well on youtube.com/AmigaBill. I think that covers it. I'm also on Discord. I have a Discord. I'm still learning what this Discord thing is. Discord. If you want to join my Discord channel, you can join there. It's another place where you can chat, and it's got some pretty good voice communications as well. No maybe to our mayhem. You know it, Anthony. It's mayhem all day, every day on the Guru Meditation. Anthony and I have a cool video coming up too. I gotta get to work on editing that one. But all right, guys, that wraps it up for today. My next planned stream, based on my work schedule, is a week from today. So I'm hoping to stream again on Tuesday, a week from today, if everything goes as planned and the work schedule stays as it is now. Jovski Rock, take care. Everyone, thanks so much for hanging out today. And everyone, throw the Amiga command in the chat. Look at this. I love it. Amiga. All right, everyone. Thanks so much for hanging out, and I'll see you guys next time. Appreciate all the support as always. And thanks again to Erik Hogan, also known as Erik, for being such a great guest today. And congratulations to him and his team on their new game, LR City. See you guys next week.
Okay.
Bye. Sign